Hacking the matrix with love, one day at a time. Aloha, shifters, dreamers, conscious co-creators from all across this beautiful hyperdelic reality. This is Brendan, and you are tuned in for another very exciting, in this case, paradigm shift, full moon team building hangout. Thank you guys so much for joining in, and thank you for being a part of this very exciting project, this real world interactive game to help shift consciousness at paradigmshiftcentral.com. Now, as per usual, I am joined here by some fellow amazing shifters. So fellow amazing shifters, if I can invite you guys to unmute your microphones and let's all make some noise, pump up the crowd, say hello to all the beautiful people out there on the internet on this awesome full moon. So let's get those wolf howls going. Stay awesome. Sweet. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And if you guys can just switch the mic back on, we'll just go over some introductions here. Got some forums. Jimmy's partying in the background. All right, guys. So what we got going on here, for those of you who may be new, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to what paradigmshiftcentral.com is. In this particular case, it's a full moon, so that's like super exciting. And normally we do some global story meditations, but in this case, it's just synced up differently. There's some other ways in which the project has been evolving. And in place of the regular story meditation, which you can go back and check out online, this is going to be a team building hangout, but we're going to be talking about some new aspects of the project, including how the website has been optimized and upgraded. And we're going to be focusing on the aspects related to quest journals and the creation of conscious media and some core aspects of how to play the game. So I'll explain more about that as we go. But again, just from like the very basics of this, as an introduction, paradigmshiftcentral.com is a real world interactive game to help shift consciousness. And the way how people play this game is through the platform of the main website as well as within the physical world. And you play the game by living your own spiritual journey, by evolving your own consciousness, by helping shift the paradigms in the many ways that we can, including in which involves the creation of conscious media, which we help feature through the Paradigm Shift Central website. So the Paradigm Shift Central website as a game, you can also think of it almost as like a collective conscious media hub that all of us as teammates have access to. And that's where we are posting our quest journals, our conscious articles, and the central news, which is what this broadcast is included under. So any of the live broadcasts, you'll see those under the central news. Beyond that, though, this project is about encouraging people to take real-world action where they are, and in particular, being able to help hack the matrix with love through the acts of shiftivism, such as doing free hugs and being able to just like plant seeds using shift buttons to be able to help get people thinking outside the box. And this is a big part of it, super core aspect, is the creation of physical paradigm shift communities. So physical paradigm shift communities exist all across the world. And as a little bit of a backstory for those who may be unfamiliar, this whole project began as a single club in my college back in 2009, just when me and a few buddies started it, basically with the intention of like wanting to bring people together to practice talking about the things that we don't normally get a chance to talk about. So that can be spirituality, metaphysics, quantum mechanics, ghosts, Sasquatch, UFOs, energies, chakras, meditation, mindfulness, psychedelics, lucid dreaming, and any of those very exciting topics. So this project is about creating both physical space through the paradigm shift communities, which we're going to teach you a little bit more about how to create, as well as digital space. And you can almost think of it as sacred digital space where we come together and we practice being able to communicate as a team. Because I feel that one of the big ways as to how we can help shift the consciousness and shift the paradigm is literally by like bringing this element of play into it. That's very important. And bringing this element of just like coming together to practice talking about the things that we don't normally get a chance to talk about. So we can come here and we can talk about things like dreaming and metaphysics and spirituality, and then we can use that confidence and that familiarity to bring that into the conversations outside of these broadcasts to be able to help assisting other people through their own process of connecting the dots and their own exploration of consciousness. So again, just as a quick overview, and then we're going to go around the circle to be able to hear a little bit about who each person is that is joining us and where they are, as well as what brings them to the Hangout and what brings them to want to be involved with the Paradigm Shift Central project and this global team of shifters. So again, shifters are people who are intentionally helping shift paradigms. And the term Shiftivism is kind of like our term for like focusing on the action role. So the Shiftivism is doing things like free hugs. It is hacking the matrix. Shiftivism can really be a subjective thing in terms of like whatever it is that you feel counts as a direct act of love to be able to help shift consciousness. And again, that's a very broad topic. So what we're doing through this project, and we're going to pass over to get some introductions in a second, but just as again, just piecing this all together through the main website, this is where you play the game. And one of the ways that you play, in addition to creating community, in addition to evolving your own consciousness, in addition to being able to like help do things like free hugs, is to create conscious media, is to practice documenting the shift in consciousness. For those of you who may be unfamiliar, my name, Brendan, on YouTube, you can find me as Skull Babylon. I've been creating conscious media for quite a while, and I think of myself as a journalist, as a gonzo journalist, a neo-gonzo journalist, to be specific, of someone who is intentionally helping document the shift in consciousness. And neo-gonzo, basically, gonzo just means involving yourself in the story. So what I've done over the years is create a platform where I'm inviting and encouraging other people to help create their own forms of conscious gonzo journalism, their own forms of media, their own forms of art. And that is what you find through the website, through the quest journals and the conscious articles. And so you can go onto the main website, paradigmshiftcentral.com, and you can browse. And what you'll see as some of the updates are the optimized media feeds that have been added to the website. So the website is a lot easier to browse now. It's more visually oriented. You can see things, they stand out. And it's also helping feature more aspects of the community creations that we are doing. So the quest journals are, and again, I'm just going to explain this because we'll go over into details later, but this is really just like the nutshell to get people hyped up as to how to be involved. You can sign up for the main website for free. It's totally free. And when you do, that gives you access to the quest journals and the conscious articles. The quest journals are like more immediately, they are immediately published, and they're more sort of freestyle to practice your place to be able to create. Conscious articles are more specific. Those don't get published right away. They have to go through a filtering process where we like proofread them and make sure that they're all good. But those are going to be more specific to particular topics that you're kind of familiar with through other websites that you've seen. It could be like a list of like top 6 ways to raise your kundalini or something like that. But it can be really like, this is where the brainstorming gets into later in the broadcast, all the different ways that we can create conscious media. Quest journals can be things like dream logs. They can be things like community updates. You can say like, oh, earlier in the week we had a paradigm shift meeting. Here's how it went. And you're documenting that. And even if it's writing or if it's video or if it's audio, this is a multimedia platform to be able to practice using the media that works for you. And so quest journals can also be poetry. They can literally just be reflections. They can be a chance for you to just be like, you know, what did I do today? How do I feel right now? And that is the amazing part of it, is that through the process of writing, you begin to be able to like notice what comes out of you. It's very inspirational. And so even if you have music that you want to share, if you have, of course, videos are a huge part of this. And that's what we have a specific part on the website that helps feature the videos. So again, I've been making videos for quite a while. This project is helping give a platform for other people in the community who are also inspired to make videos, and in the process collectively inspiring more and more people to be able to practice using their voice. And that's basically the core of it, is to see what happens when we practice using our voice and we practice expressing our art. And the whole idea is you aspire to inspire. So I guarantee you, anybody who creates a quest journal, you can create something, you put the intention into it. That content, now that it's on the main website, will get seen by like X number of people as the website continues to grow, and it has the potential to inspire someone else. You can write about your struggles, you can write about your hopes, you can write about your dreams, and other people will read that and they'll be like, whoa, you know, like I can relate with this person. And maybe that's going to inspire me to write my own quest journal. And you can see it begins to evolve. So creating a team of shifters, a global team of shifters who are both conscious media creators, as well as people who are helping shift paradigms in the local community, and as well as people who are helping build paradigm shift communities where they are. And again, the very core aspect of the paradigm shift communities are about having regular open-minded discussion and meditation circles. So maybe you're already doing something like this where you are, and you're not even calling it a paradigm shift community. And that's totally cool, because whether you call it a paradigm shift community or not, it's kind of secondary. Really, it's about bringing people together, having that physical space, having that heart-to-heart connection, and being mirrors for each other's growth, building the tribe, finding the others. That is how we change the world. And then by sharing our knowledge, by sharing our perceptions, we grow, and the ripple effects continue out of there. So again, those are just, as much as I can summarize it, those are really the kind of key aspects to the project. And we're going to go around with the talking stick and learn a little bit more about some of the shifters who we have here, as well as maybe what some of them are already involved with. I know quite a few people who we have here. I can just point out, we have Devin, we have Gabe, we have Jeremy, Jessica, Jimmy and team, Justin, Michael, Shadi, and Tony. And off the top of my head, I know Gabe and as well as Jeremy are already active media creators. Jeremy makes a lot of music, which we've actually used in some of the paradigm shift videos so far, and thumbs up to Jeremy on that collaboration. And Gabriel, many of you have probably already seen his videos. He does videos with Zylock, the alien, our alien friend. If you haven't seen that, it's you'll have to meet him sometime. But Gabriel's been making a lot of conscious videos as well. So like, Gabriel has already gotten into the groove of this, and he's really helping lead by example. And again, this process, through myself making videos, through Gabriel making videos, through other people making videos, through you making videos, is not only giving you a platform to say like, hey, I'm inspired to create something knowing that it will be seen by an audience who cares, as well as the idea that it will continue to help you step into your potential as well as find your purpose. So a roundabout way, this project is really there to help encourage people to choose to be the change they wish to see, and to help them find their purpose. If we could really boil it down to that, and that's the mystery kind of unfolds through this collaborative process. So for those of you who are tuning into this in the future, and those of you who are in the YouTubes, feel free to drop some 1111s if that resonates with you guys, and it just all of what I said. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We'll go into the details of those as we go. But again, the basic updates on the website are a lot of optimizations with the media feed. So you'll go there, you'll see like the layout is different. You'll see like the feeds for the central news, the Quest journals and the conscious articles stand out better. It's easier to navigate. Some of the lag has been taken care of. And yeah, lots more to it. And in addition, you'll also see the link to the shifters on Patreon, and you'll see Gabriel. Gabriel's not in there yet. He will be soon, but you'll see Zylock in there, as well as Bridget, as well as Sifu Boggy, as well as some of our other friends, Little Panda. So you can see this project is like, as the water rises, so does every ship. This project is about like collectively like helping people really like, again, step into the place where they're finding that creative expression, and they're also being able to like sing their heart song, and in the process of being supported by the community through it as well is the big goal in this. So with that said, thank you guys so much for tuning into this. And again, you can go to the main website even as you're listening to this broadcast, practice browsing it. Just as a very last point, the way how this works is that now, as the website has been re-optimized, there's going to be more Quest journals that are going to get created, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to create. I'm going to be creating some as well now that we have it. I'm going to get into the habit of it and help lead by example. And so the way how you'll want to play this game is by bookmarking the main ParadigmShiftCentral.com website and checking back there maybe once or twice or every other day, whatever works for you, seeing what's new, and in addition, contributing and also helping share some of the content through social media as well, which evidently invites people back to the project and invites them to get inspired. It helps them connect to that bigger paradigm shifty idea, which we're multidimensional beings in this having this physical experience, which again, like as people start exploring the media, that's a big part of it. It's about becoming better dreamers within the dream, and through the broadcast and through the dream classes and through the admin hangouts and the destiny schools and the journey to lucidity movies and the videos that people are making, all of these seeds start getting planted, and people have a chance to browse a lot of beautiful media that has been created, and it is easily available through this website. We're creating an archive. Again, we're creating like an archive of the ongoing shift in consciousness. So Yeah, that's really a huge part of it, guys, and I'll explain more as we keep going. But in the meantime, let's go through again just the passing the talking stick around and hearing a little bit about some of the other shifters here. So we're going to start left to right on my screen, and again, shout out to people in the YouTubes as well. Much love to you guys seeing the 1111s drop there. So again, there's multiple ways to participate in this project. Some people just listen to the podcast and they get inspired by that. Some people are creators and that's their thing. Some people are creating the physical paradigm shift communities and that's their thing. Your choice, like you have the choice as to how you want to participate in this project. And that's the beauty of it. And it's all free. And the way how it's supported is through the Patreon. And you can find the links for the Patreon through the website if you just scroll all the way down to the bottom. And you'll see the link to join the monthly support squad. And then that's people micro donations that help support the project, which pays to be able to help me creating all the media and being able to direct it, invest the time as a director and everything like that. So again, huge shout out to you guys. Huge shout out to the Patreon supporters for making this possible. And this is going to be a very exciting 2017. So this is how we play the game, creating conscious media and being able to just like do so much more than that. So last thing I will just say, because it was just on the quest journals, just as a quick example, I'm going to be writing a quest journal about the dream that I had with David Bowie in it on David Bowie's birthday, which was like something I didn't know of at the time until after I woke up. And in the dream, I like heard a song that David Bowie played that was like a song only available within the dream. So I'm going to, even though it happened a few days ago, I'm going to go back and I'm going to write a little bit about what this dream was, what it meant to me, and a little bit about David Bowie. So that's just an example of what a quest journal could be. And a quest journal can be so many things, guys. So that's why I'm inviting you to get creative and to really see the many ways that we can create together. So with that said, we're going to go around the talking circle here, and we're going to start from left to right. So from left to right, we're going to start with Devin. And again, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for sharing and downloading this information and being able to practice communicating through spoken word and collaborative media. So Devin, when you're ready, feel free to unmute yourself. And again, just who you are, where you're from, what brings you to the Hangout, what brings you to the project. And if you want, you could say like maybe some ideas that you might have for any media that you're inspired to create if you're feeling the call. So Devin, passing it over to you. Welcome back, brother.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, so my name's Devin Burton. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And how I got into the project was just through a Facebook link, actually. And, you know, I think a part of like the self that I was expressing at that time was a yearning to be a part of a tribe and not just like a social group of like friends, but like, you know, a deeper connection to like a sense of tribe. And, you know, I've been able to find this here, even though you guys like, you know, it's all over the world, but I still, you know, I still have that connection with all the shifters. And so that's why I'm here. It's a part of my truth. And yeah, some of the ideas I've actually been having, you know, like in dreams and stuff, I wanted to start making short films and just like really simple, you know, almost indie style short films like that people could really relate to. And just, you know, I had one idea of just like it was a short film about the annoyance of wearing a wet sock at work, and I was gonna like somehow turn that into you know, how you can get connected and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's one of the platforms I wanted to start expressing myself on. And I guess that's really it. That's where I'm at so far.
Awesome, man. Awesome. If you, I'm curious because in the past, again, you know, like within this project, we do the other broadcasts, the Dream Class, and that's how we create media as well. Devin's been involved with some of the Dream Class broadcasts, and some of the dreams that we've talked about there have been very, very interesting. Do you, like, just as a suggestion / asking you a question, could you see yourself like maybe using the quest journals to create some dream logs when you feel inspired to be able to help share some of the experiences that you've had, like just as written form?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a really awesome thing to be able to do. And, you know, I'd like to eventually be able to share like the experiences and the techniques that I've been implementing when it comes to lucid dreaming and astral projection. So that'd be really great to be able to share.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, that's exactly like even just what you're saying there, like the idea of like creating like a list of techniques, that is something that could potentially be like a conscious article. So
Right.
again, like quest journals can kind of be more casual. So you kind of like wake up from a dream in the morning and you know the platform's there. So you start writing in a text document and you just free flow, couple paragraphs, 3 to 4, you know, like for a quest journal, unless it's a micro post, try to make it at least like 2-3 paragraphs at least, and always add an image when creating a quest journal. I'll just say that now because that's something I'll stress later when people are loading, or else it doesn't load in the RSS feeds properly. But yeah, it just, again, for anybody listening to this, like, you know, you wake up from a dream knowing that you have a platform there, you're inspired to like practice writing on the computer about what your dream was. That act of documenting your dreams actually helps with the recall of your dreams, which will continue to accelerate your lucid dreaming, not just lucid dreaming, but your dream practice habits in general. But yeah, no, Devin, I would totally love to be able to just like see what comes out of some of the quest journals and some of the dream logs that you could be writing in the future. So that'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Sweet, man. Sweet. All right. With that said, we're going to pass it over to Gabe. So Gabe, we're going to pass the talking over to you. Devin, thanks again. Devin is in Vancouver. And for anybody who wants to connect with him, I'll post the links to anybody who's in the broadcast in the show notes after the broadcast in YouTube as well. And with that said, we'll pass it over to Gabriel. So Gabriel Solomon, thank you so much for joining. And please feel free to, again, just who you are, where you're from, what brings you to the Hangout, what brings you to the project, and some media that you're either making or inspired to make, and feel free to plug your stuff. So
cool.
Go ahead,
Great. Well, greetings everyone. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for having me. And such an honor. And a little bit about myself. I live in the Berkshire, Massachusetts, which is in Western Massachusetts. I am a highly active shifter. I make a lot of conscious media regarding ET contact and ascension and various spiritual insights. I own an organization called Musical Coordination, where basically I go all throughout the States and teach transformative music workshops. I also am very involved in giving public spiritual lectures. I host a conscious festival every summer called the Cosmic Grove. And actually one of a newer project that I'm involved in is actually starting to create a physical community center here where I live, and that's really awesome. I'm really excited to do it. As Brendan is mentioning, these community centers essentially are going to be these hubs to connect paradigm shifters around the world and to streamline different ascension information, and they'll serve as a way of getting people together to essentially interact with one another and share and exchange our ideas in creative ways. So that is something that's manifesting in a very accelerated fashion in my life. So there's a lot of projects that I'm involved in that are going on. If you guys are not familiar with my YouTube videos, you can go to youtube.com/Gabe Salomon, and I talk a lot about what I'm doing. And I'm involved with Paradigm Shift Central because Brendan is a really good friend of mine and is infinitely supportive of what I do, and I am so supportive of what he does. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and yeah, I'm really excited to really hit the ground running with this new year, and I feel very compelled to contribute more articles and so on and so forth to Paradigm Shift. I have infinite amount of things that I've written that would be quest logs and different entries and things. So yeah. A lot of stuff going on.
Awesome, man. Dude, you're rocking it. Thank you so much. And
thank you, man.
Shout out to you and the other homies in the household as well.
Oh, totally, for sure.
Zylock and Dane and everyone else. So that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, Zylock, for those of you that don't know, is my hyperdimensional best friend. We create a lot of videos together, transmitting from Unicom, which is our hyperdimensional craft. And yes, we are informing the masses about first contact.
Totally, man. And you know what? Like you guys are totally from my end of things, kind of like this very synchronistic occurrence. Because way back in the beginning of the Paradigm Shift Central project, I was always just like, you know, I really hope someday I'll be able to like interview an alien on Paradigm Shift Radio. And then one day Zylock just shows up, right? And obviously, like, people are just like, well, he's not actually an alien because he's a guy wearing a suit. But it's just like, blah, 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 blah.
But here's the thing.
But
we really have to. It really breaks down the idea of what is real, Because to me, Zylock is fully real, because he's real within my heart. He's real within my own consciousness. So that's the whole idea. And what you said just earlier, you're talking about sort of bringing this attitude of play to the whole thing. And that's really what our idea is to portray first contact in interactions with hyperdimensional intelligence in a very fun and playful way. And yeah.
Yeah, and that's been a great thing, man. Like, I mean, humor, bringing in humor into conscious media is such a powerful thing. It's something I want to be able to focus on more in the future as well with the project. But it's great to see you guys already doing that. Again, for people who haven't seen the videos, right now, like, you can find some of the videos within the newest videos on the website, but we'll make sure we'll get links to like their channels and stuff. But there was like some that you guys were doing where it was kind of like Zylock and Friends, or it was like Zylock's like Journey to Earth, and it was very almost like a sitcom. You know, it's kind of like, like sketch materials. It was like almost like Second City or SNL or something like that. And I think those are really
so we have
props on that.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, we have one series, for those of you that don't know, that is called the Intergalactic Guide, and this is Zylock and I. We're transmitting it's more informationally based. It's more insights, and it's more informative experiences in regards to first contact. And then there's Zylock on Earth, which is a sort of shot in a more sitcom style. If you guys are familiar with Red Dwarf or Hyperdrive, these sort of space comedy creations, this is in that vein, and it's our own unique spin on that. And our whole idea is to sort of really ground in the fifth dimensional paradigm and the terminology and the ideas into a more fun and playful sitcom format. Yeah.
For sure, man. And again, like one of the things that some people have been noticing of what we're doing within the Paradigm Shift Central project, using Gabe's videos as examples, like as we're evolving the project, we're kind of branching out in multiple directions. Our goal is to help people's content reach more people. One of the ways how we do that, other than just the main website, which functions more practically as an archive and when people are actually on it, is reaching out through social media such as Facebook. Because the fact is that like Facebook is a whole nother beast in itself. And if you share a YouTube link through Facebook, or if you share a website link through Facebook, it can sometimes not reach so many people because of algorithm issues and stuff. One of the things that we can do, and some of you have already seen this through the Paradigm Shift Central Facebook page, and again, that's just facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Central. Be sure to like that when you get a chance, is we'll take a video as an example, one that Gabe has done and one of Zylock has done, and we'll download it from YouTube, and then we'll re-upload it to Facebook. And then what we do is we tag their YouTube URLs, like their subscribe feed, their channels, into the Facebook info, and then we manually share that video in about like at least 20 different groups that are kind of conscious groups. So it's kind of like the audience that we're aiming for. And then from there, it kind of like picks up this organic momentum. And on average, so far, we've been able to do that. And we can, well, it's 11:11 right now. Boom, bonus points. We'll take a moment to just do like a moment of oneness in a second. But what we'll do is by manually uploading it and manually resharing it, we can help videos get like into the thousands of views. Like Gabe's video and Zylock's video, like last ones went into about 5,000. Now Facebook view wise, 5,000 Facebook views, quote unquote, aren't actual real views. That just means how many times it auto played in someone's news feed, but it's still a representation of the fact that it's reaching more than zero by comparison, so to speak. So it's still something to measure it based on. So one thing that we'll do is that as people are submitting content to the main website, this is where my job as director will come in, where I'm kind of like picking and choosing how to mitigate some of the stuff from the main website into the Facebook feed. So if you post a video to the main website, communicate with me, or I'll communicate with you, and we'll do what we can to like upload it when the time is right to the Facebook feed to help it get more people, to help bring more people back to your channel specifically as well. So yeah, just again, kind of the back end stuff of how like social media works. But you'll see like a lot of people, like YouTube and Facebook, they do not get along. And so many, if our goal is to get the message out there, we want to find out how to like optimize and hack like Facebook's algorithms in a way. And that's how we do it. Upload it manually and then manually reshare it in a bunch of groups. So if you see a video going through the Facebook like page, help us out by resharing that, because that's always a useful way So yeah, again, just giving you an example there with Zylock and Gabe's videos, and thumbs up to you guys for rocking it. So just one thing before we move on, we'll just do a quick moment of oneness. Moment of oneness is literally just kind of like where we stop, go silent, and just like connect with our breath for like 3 breaths. And you'll be amazed how much of a difference it makes when we're going and we're going and going and we're talking and all this information is being downloaded and all this inspiration is being encoded. There's equal value in taking a moment of collective silence, knowing that everyone tuned in is in that moment of silence, in that moment of oneness. So with that said, I'm just going to invite you guys, without really too much instruction, to just like relax, close your eyes if you want, and just take 3 simple breaths and just be in that moment in whatever way it is to you. Like, think about the inspiration, think about what you want to do with the future, think about quest journals, think about your breath, think about love. Just be present. So, Gabe, did you have a point? Is that, or no? Okay, you're just like pondering with your hand. Perfect. Okay, guys. So, switching into a moment of oneness, and go right ahead. Connect with your breath. 3 deep breaths, and gently begin. Go ahead. And gently just continue breathing, and slowly we'll just bring our awareness back. Awesome. Yeah, even again, just a little moment like that, it's just like, whew, like suddenly that silence becomes something so different. It's just like throughout our entire day, did we take a moment for silence yet? And it feels so foreign, yeah, in some ways, like so delicious. It's like biting into like delicious fruit sometimes when done with intention. So with that said, guys, we'll see, because I just want to finish things off with Gabe while he's still here, and we'll keep passing and talking, stick around. One of the things I was just going to say, as examples of like things to create with quest journals and conscious articles, actually, hold on, let me just give you a quick look at the website. I'm just going to do a screen share real quick. So just doing a screen share for those of you who are listening to this broadcast through YouTube, you'll be able to see. So right now I'm on the main website. So just giving you a quick run through. I'm going to do another video that's literally just like a tutorial of Google Hangout. It's just going to be like introducing the website to you. But I'm just showing you real quick here just to actually show you where Zylock's videos are. So you have up here, I guess you can't see my mouse right now, can you? But if I'm scrolling through the newest video, so this is kind of like the cool layout that we got. So up at the top, this is like your controller. This is kind of like your game controller. Those are your main buttons that appear both like on mobile and desktop versions. That was a big part of this, trying to get like the website optimized for like website and mobile. That's a big part of it. And then you got your feeds here. These are all your feeds where you can like easily see things on a quick glimpse. You can kind of see like what's new, and then you go down further and then you'll be able to see like more of the main content. So this is just an example. This is like the broadcast that we're in, but just a couple things that I wanted to show you guys, the newest video feed. So like this is where you can actually see the people's videos. And so there's like one of Zylock right there. And I'm going to click on that, and then that's going to open up in YouTube. And so this is actually, because I also wanted to show you like who Zylock is. People are just like, people with no context might just be like, what? I don't understand. So here's Zylock like learning how to make salad in this episode. Oh, look, he's got salad on his head. So like, trust me, when you can hear the audio and the context, it's pretty amusing. But again, there's other videos of Zylock and Gabe, and some of you guys might have seen these through the Facebook page, but this is where you would commonly recognize Zylock. kind of in this stage where he's in Unicom, as they refer to it. And again, Gabe and Zylok have done a lot of great work on this, and Zylok has actually been helping with additional graphics that you'll see through other parts of the project, including a 360 version of the Dream Tree, the Paradigm Shift Dream Tree, which we'll talk about more later on. So again, just showing you real quick, there's Zylok. Shout out to Zylok, much love Zy. And going back to the main website, just other key features, you'll notice on the right, we have the global story meditations kind of featured. So those of you who haven't heard the story meditations, you can scroll through those. And then when you go down a little bit, you can see like this is where you got like on the right, you got your central news feeds and all your quest journals. And again, these sliders just make it a lot more visually oriented, a lot easier to browse. These feeds have all been updated. And again, just helping in a way that visually makes people's content viewable for people who may be landing on the website for the first time. So that's kind of the idea, is that people might come to the website for the first time, and then while they're there, they'll see your quest journal, but they might have been brought to the article because someone else made a video, or it could be even, you know, video that I did or that Gabe did. And then here you also got the Light Guardian pendants. Those of you who aren't familiar, those are a new quest item that we have as part of the game. And then right here, you actually have the Patreon supporters. So you can actually see here's some of our friends on Patreon. And again, Patreon's a platform that you can donate to people monthly as supporters of their art. Then you got a little animation here, which is just another cool little feature. And then the other stuff, again, you guys can kind of explore. You got the shirt links, you got like the link to join the monthly support squad there, the shifter booster kit with the monthly support squad, and on the main part of the website there's some other features which I'll actually just show real quick. So if you're on the main website and you click up at the top banner, you can click up at the top banner, that will take you right to ParadigmShiftCentral.com, which has some additional feeds, which there's the Paradigm Shift TV, which is really cool, and it'll help piece things together. But you also have the start menu. So within your controller up at the top, click on the start menu and really familiarize yourself with each of these buttons. They're all valuable. So there's Team Map, Shifter Booster Kit, Community Startup Guide, Shift Movies, Free Hugs videos, Turning on PSC TV, Podcast Archive, Begin New Quest Journal, Begin New Conscious Article, and Player Activity in 3D Timeline. So if you click on the start menu, I'm just going to show you real quick. If you click on the start menu, this is going to take you to this page. So this is kind of like the page that we can send people to individually when we kind of want them to start the game right from like no previous link. So when you're here, if you click on Begin New Journey, that's how you create a profile on the website. If you click on Continue Your Journey, that takes you to your profile. If you click on Explore Game Media, that takes you to the main website, and I'm just going to show you real quick, and then I'm going to go back to talking about a couple other things. But I just want to show you. So so when people go, like with people with the shift buttons are the buttons that we have that have the website on them. If people get a button and then they go to the website, this is where the website is going to bring them currently at this point in time. And in addition, you can also see the live ping map, which is really useful. So again, that tool is accessible to everyone. A combination of I'm just making sure my browser's just kind of catching up right now, making sure that you guys can see me. I just got to make sure it doesn't like lag out. Okay, there we go. So the combination of the ping map and the users online and the live chat allows you to kind of like see the opportunity to be able to talk to people. So right now, if you like look, you can barely see because of the quality of the Google Hangout, but there's a ping. I think that's mostly my ping. I think nobody else is like on the website right now because everyone's onto the YouTube. But if you're on there and you see someone else pinging over in like the UK, bring up the live chat and then just like jump in and say hello through the live chat as well. So again, I'll explain more of that. That's kind of self-explanatory actually, but I just want to go down a little bit further, assuming it can handle the broadcast and it's at the same time. So actually, I'm not really going to click this, or should I? Okay, so as you scroll down, you'll get to a point where it says Paradigm Shift TV. This is right above the newest videos. The really cool thing here, and I want to explain this to you guys carefully, this is the main part of the website, ParadigmShiftCentral.com. It brings people to this part of the website. This part of the website includes the Paradigm Shift TV. Paradigm Shift TV is a special embedded video platform where it picks a video synchronistically or quote unquote randomly out of the hundreds and hundreds of videos that community members have created over the years. So when I click on play here, I don't even know what video it's going to play with right away. Or whether it will play, just because I feel like me being in the Hangout and me trying to do this might just kind of give it a little bit too much than it can handle, even though it's not like super excessive. It's just the Hangouts kind of chug a lot. So it may not actually play at this moment, but I encourage you to go to the main part of the website. And again, just like the idea that every time you're on there, the universe is actually showing you like one of like many videos, and you'll be really surprised at the synchronistic times in which like you click on a video and it'll come through with like the right message at the right time. So again, the Paradigm Shift Central TV, really encourage you guys to go check that out there. And every time you're on the main website, feel free to take a gander, because there's always going to be a new video there for you. So every time you land on it is going to be different. Then you got the team building map, and then you got the global meditations there. And this is kind of repeated, the player activity feed, and the shifters, the Patreon, and the animation for the global portals, which will evolve later as we go. So I'm just going to stop the share on that. And again, if you guys have questions on that later, feel free to let me know. Screen share stop, I think. Hold on, coming back. There we go. So again, just the whole idea that Paradigm Shift TV is there is really cool, because again, just reiterating, when people go to the website for the first time, Paradigm Shift TV, that special player, is going to pull up a random video. It could be your video. It could be anyone's video. And every time they go there, it's kind of like a new way for people to stumble upon things that otherwise might have been lost to the depths of time. So suddenly everything that is old becomes new again, because everything is the potential to show up within the random feed, within the random algorithm for the Paradigm Shift Central TV. And if you go up to the top of the website and click on Paradigm Shift Central TV, that just takes you to the page just with that. And then you can click through, and you can click through like videos, and you can watch like back-to-back videos of like stuff that has been a part of the Paradigm Shift Central project, but maybe you haven't seen because maybe it was made like years ago. So it's a really cool function. And it's a really important function to, again, give credence to the idea that everything old is new again. Everybody's videos has the chance to be seen. People creating on this platform have the opportunity to share their voice with a global audience, and that continues to inspire them to want to be able to create. Because a big part with creating, and I'll just say this real quick, is again, some people, they might feel they're on the verge of wanting to share something, but they are kind of in this place where they're just like, oh, you know, like, who would care? No one's going to watch it. Why would anyone want to watch it? Or like, why should I make it if no one's going to watch it? Now that we've created a platform where people will see your work, it helps give that extra motivation to, again, be able to encourage you guys to step into that role as conscious media creators, which is a big part of, again, evolving as a shifter. But again, different people within the shift community are going to be focused on different things. Some people might not be heavy into creating questionnaires and creating this and that. That's totally cool, guys. Whatever way feels comfortable for you at the time, being involved in this project is totally cool. So just know that. And again, always inviting you guys to explore the many ways that you can be involved. So I just want to say, as an example of a conscious article that I'm going to write in the future, just to give you an example, because this will start planting seeds as to what conscious articles can be. Conscious articles should almost be written almost like a school essay. Not to say it should be an essay, but it means you should put attention into it and put detail into it. It should be something that's like going to be an enjoyable read, and it's not just going to be like 1 or 2 paragraphs. It'll be a little bit longer, and it'll have like images and again, kind of like what the websites are that you see on other parts of the internet. As an example of a conscious article, I am going to eventually create a conscious article on like 5 shows on TV with conscious themes that you should watch. So that is the working title, but something along those lines. So within this article, I'm going to briefly mention about 5 shows that I feel people should watch that have conscious themes that will help spark their spirit. Examples of this: shows such as Stranger Things, shows such as Sense8, shows such as The OA, shows such as Troll Hunters, and any others. Troll Hunters, if you haven't seen that, it's a crazy awesome show, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Super awesome. It's animated. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. But again, so that will be an example of a question I'll be writing in the future. Me writing that not only helps me get this information out as an ambassador for it, but again, it also helps brings people back to the website, which connects people to all the other media and the project and the future broadcast. So you can see how simple this project is, and yet how dynamic it is at the same time. And that's been a big part, is like building it through simplicity, and creating this like really, really awesome cohesion. And another thing you'll just notice with the website is that like a big part of it is that you don't have any of those ridiculous ads on it that you see on some of the other websites. That will make our website unique. So the ads that we have on it are for like the Patreon and the Light Guardian crystal pendants and the Shift stuff. You go to some other websites and you'll see like ads that aren't even real, you know, they're like top 10 ways that doctors tell you you're gonna die if you keep drinking water or something like that. It's like weird stuff, right? And it's just like it's clickbait. It really is. It's just clickbait. And again, like that's like they have those there because they earn ad revenue, but we're not taking that route. The Patreon allows us to not have to take that route. Again, shout out to the Patreon. So again, like this website experience is something that I've intentionally created over the years. Like I've been building this website for like a couple of years now, but the original website began like 7-8 years ago. But again, we want to create like a cool experience, not something where people are going there and they're just like, oh, like, you know, like what the hell's with these ads, or it just like mixed messages. Here it's like really about the community, it's about the content, it's about the creation, it's about like the cohesion and coming together and and like creating broadcasts and lots of awesome stuff. So yeah, Gabe, I just want to pass it back to you, even if you just want to like maybe collectively share any feedback on how you feel about the website, or if you have any questions, and maybe anything in the future that you feel inspired to create, questionable videos or otherwise.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it looks really amazing. I'm super stoked about it. As I said before, I'm really excited to get more involved with it in 2017. I have so much writing and such that I have to share, and all of my videos really, and everything that I do share online is very, I guess you could say, formulaic, in the sense that I present what I present in a very metaphysical science type of way, where it translates really well into writing, because it ends up being like the best ways to, or in my experience, these different things to apply in your life. So that's definitely something that I feel inspired to contribute. And the cool thing about the website that you've created is that it's very much in resonance with how from what the information that I've received in the way in which I'm going about it, it's very aligned with how the physical communities, the physical paradigm shift communities, are going to function. With the idea, once again, of streamlining information and making things accessible, bringing people to a centralized point in which they can explore everything that they need to know about Ascension and about this new paradigm shift, because it's of the utmost importance for everyone to know this information, because it's all going down, it's all happening. And you've done a really great job with creating that in a very straightforward and really accessible format. Yeah, so great job, man, seriously.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. And yeah, again, like it's like I am you, you are me. Like I'm just the part of you that like worked on the website so that we could all use it, kind of thing, and now we're here and it's awesome. Yeah, and you know what, like again, there's other parts of the website that will come into the future, but I'm just going to tell you guys real quick right now, because again, like a big part of this is that we want paradigm shift central, right? So like people come to the website and maybe they don't know, they're brand new to a lot of the shifty stuff. They're to a lot of the metaphysics. They watch like the main video, the awakening within the matrix, in 5 minutes. That will get them introduced to some stuff, and then they come across other videos that gets to introduce them to more, and they come across dream classes, starts connecting dots, and at least the idea that there's a community encourages them to know that, hey, there's other people interested in this. But one thing that is going to be a part of the website in the future, and I'm inviting you guys to help me out with this because I do need your help, is we're going to create something known as the Reality Encyclopedia. And so the reality encyclopedia, literally, as Gabe kind of said, will be like a streamline of main key topics and concepts that people can literally kind of go through a list, and it'll be visual presentation with included videos and even audio, where it might just be myself or someone else casually talking about it, as well as written format. And it'll, again, so it'll be like you can kind of go through from like A to Z. So you'd have like auras, you'd have like binaural beats, even ayahuasca back up in the A, you know, chakras, you know, dimensions. And we had an earlier version of this a long time ago, but it was just kind of, it's still very much an experimental phase. But again, it's something that I've always had there, and I do want to bring back, because that will be so key when people can go there and they can click in right away, and they can start connecting the dots, and you can be like, whoa, you know, like sacred geometry, go there. And they have this visual presentation of sacred geometry right in front of them in this encyclopedia that connects them to other things, and it becomes this data mining process in which they start connecting the dots in their own way. So instead of saying, hey, read from A to Z, it would be like, hey, jump in where you feel inspired and see where it connects you. And so that will be kind of the cool part of another aspect of how the project will work as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That will come down the road. But again, just keep your ears open, because that will be coming in handy. But in the meantime, really just reiterating for you guys, your shift mission for the time being, for those of you who are tuned into this project, is to begin thinking about the ways of how you can create quest journals. And so again, those can be written, those can be art, those can be audio, those can be poetry, those can be song, they can be your videos, they can be your dream logs, your synchronicity reports. That's always an exciting one. So, you know, you just think how many synchronicity stuff there is going on in terms of like our everyday life. Like that's always the thing, right? You can go through the day and be like, whoa, I ran into this guy on the bus and he was like talking to me about stuff, and he had a tattoo of like the Eye of Ra, and then suddenly like, what were the odds of us meeting, right? Instead of just going home and just being like, oh, that was cool, write a quest journal about it, share it with your friends, let others know that it happened, and then it will help spark those occurrences within other people's reality as well. So again, for the people listening to this, your shift mission is to begin thinking about the many, many ways of how you can create conscious media, quest journals, and practice. It's really just all about practice. That is what the platform is for. Simple things I will say: when you're creating quest journals, always make sure to include an image, and try to make your quest journals at least 2 to 3 paragraphs long, unless it's like intentionally short. But ideally we want it like 2 to 3, a little bit longer, that way so that people, when they click on it, they're like feeling that they're getting value out of what they've clicked on, instead of just clicking and getting like 2 sentences. You know, you want to give them a little bit more to read. And then again, just like really just encouraging you guys to know that this is just like a process of like allowing us to see what happens when we invite that creativity into our reality. And it's so exciting, guys. And just as another example, one of the videos that I'm really feeling inspired to make, there's a lot of videos that I'm working on, including Journey to Lucidity 3, which I'll be switching back into soon now that the website's kind of up to date. I just want to run this past you guys, because Jeremy, I could use your help on this, and Gabe, I could use your help on this for music. But what I actually want to do, I've had this idea. This is my basic idea for a video. I feel this would be a really, really, really potent video. What I want to do is create a video of like a combination of freestyle conscious flow tree with free hugs, something I've done before, but I want to use the song, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. You guys know that song, right? So like that main chorus of the song, and I don't know all the words, but you know, like the main chorus is like, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. So it'd be like me singing that, but that would be the main chorus. And then between that would be like specific freestyle, either flowetry or pre-written poetry that I've created specifically for that video. So it would kind of have like this juxtaposition where the main chorus would be nice and slow, ambiotic, showing free hugs and like kind love and gesture and cool video. And then like showing, and then going into like a little bit more of the cadence increase with the freestyle flowetry still over top of this footage, and then going back into the chorus, going back into the flowetry, back into the chorus, doing this a couple times. And that's pretty much the video. And the video would be no more than 4 minutes, so to speak. But yeah, like that's just kind of like an idea that I feel called to do. It's an idea that came into my head, and I'm just like, whoa, like that, I know that would make a good video. And so it's just a matter of like finding the elements that I can gather to help make it happen. And yeah, so stay tuned for that. I can't promise when it will be. Could be like half a year from now, who knows? But just because there's a lot of other stuff. But again, that's just another example. And so if you guys are inspired, if you're like creating your own flowetry, if you're creating your own like, you know, like hip hop, like conscious music and stuff like that, oh dude, totally. Jeremy's asking, what is the song name? So I would just run a Google search on what the world needs now is love, sweet love, right? And see what comes up. But yeah, Gabe, you were saying in the chat. What were you saying in the chat? Gabe, feel free to unmute yourself if you just want to jump in, and we'll go around the topic.
Oh, cool. No, I just had an idea for that specific tune. Basically, we could just create an arrangement of the tune that's more flowetry-esque, that's more hip-hop-esque, and then basically use the chorus of that, but use that the basis.
Bro, sire, your music's too loud.
What?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
That's fine. So just basically use the format of the song in the chorus of the song, but just rearrange it so that it's more suitable for flowetry and for hip hop and so on and so forth. But I love that. That's great. I think we should definitely do that.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like, because we have the talent of guys like you and Jeremy, like that's totally possible where we don't have to like download the karaoke version and like or whatever, right? It would be like a new version of it. Yeah. But music is such a powerful thing. And Jeremy, I want to be able to pass it over to you in a second as we're still going through like general introductions and just hearing a little bit more about who everyone is that's here at the broadcast. The video that we did not too long ago about claiming our cosmic power in 2017, that was music that was mixed together by Jeremy. So he was like sampling some stuff and piecing some things together. And so thumbs up for him for helping with that. Because again, the music with that really made the video so much more powerful. Like if I just posted that video just as it was, maybe it would have gotten like 2,000 views on Facebook, but because of the music, I'm sure that helped push it beyond like 6,000 because people were, you know, that they value the content. They're just like, oh, this is cool, you know? So when it comes to media and sharing media, there's like this whole philosophy of asking, like, start with why. So when you're making something, why are you creating it, right? Or why would people want to watch it? Or why do people want to share it is a big question. So you think about that. Why would someone want to share my video? Maybe because it's fun. Maybe because it's going to like help inspire other people. Maybe because it's exciting. Maybe because it's going to make them look shifty by association, sort of thing. You know, like sometimes people do that, whether not just so much with conscious media, but, you know, people will be like, they'll share a funny video, and this is kind of getting into like psychology. They'll share a funny video because it makes them look funny to their social media friends or something like that. Be like, oh, that guy's always sharing funny stuff. He's funny, you know, sort of thing. So it's like tapping into like almost the ego in terms of like how social media is a reflection and why we share, but then using that to figure out successful content that will ride on those elements of our characteristics that will help it reach even further as well. So, I mean, yeah, creating conscious media, creating viral conscious media is something I'm very interested in, something that, again, I invite you guys to be able to contribute to and brainstorm with. One thing I will just say real quick, because I didn't mention it already, on the main website, if you want to be involved with this media creation as like an ongoing thing, I'm asking you guys to help out, and one of the ways to do that is to join the team Slack chat. So the team Slack chat, up in the top menu, you'll see like the main menu where it says like start menu, about your journey, video chat rooms, team Slack chat. If you click on that, you can apply for this team Slack chat, and that is like a mobile chat that runs across mobile and desktop with notifications, and it's just like a succinct place where we can keep track of projects that we're working on. And we did launch it a while ago, and then it kind of went quiet for a bit. But again, like a big part of it is like, if I'm like actively calling participation into it, then it will bring more participation into it. So at this point, I am recalling people to get involved with the Slack chat. So again, if you want to either just like casually connect with shifters, or if you specifically, this is the main core of the Slack chat, want to be involved with conscious media creation, then please join the team Slack chat, because that will be where we will collaborate on brainstorming for projects, as well as simple things like meme creations for the internet. So with the Facebook page, a big part of expanding the reach is figuring out creative ways that we can create like image memes. And that's, again, something I want to be able to ask you guys for help with, because other people who have graphic abilities, we can start like getting into a flow where people will start sharing, and one person will start sharing quotes, and another people will be like gathering the graphics, and then lo and behold, you combine it and we create the content, and it creates like this sort of like conveyor belt or assembly line process in which we just get into the habit. And again, the beauty of this project is that every time one of us creates something cool and posts it through the website and gets stuff through Facebook, it brings attention to everyone's work. So rather than just being like, oh, like if I like get really good YouTube videos, that's going to increase my subscribers. Here, it's if I make cool content, that's going to increase everyone's subscribers. And like that is like such a game changer. So that's a really cool thing. So
you're being too loud, bro.
I'm being too loud? Are you sure?
No, I'm talking to Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. Well, Jimmy's muted. Jimmy's muted on the actual broadcast.
Oh, really?
Not coming through on the broadcast.
Come at me, bro.
He may be coming, yeah, he may be coming through on your end. So double check if Jimmy's not coming through on the actual YouTube feed. I do not think, or else I would have heard about it a long time ago. But
I understand you, do I?
Yes. So Jimmy, shout out to you, man. Jimmy's got a party going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, Jimmy, I got
you
muted, but
really
on the feed. All right, Michael, go ahead. I'm just gonna mute you too.
Really?
I think they're having some dispute of some sort.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll figure that out as we go. So Gabe, was there anything else that you want to mention? And we'll pass it over to Jeremy in a second.
No, go ahead and pass it. I mean, there's so much I could say, but just let's keep it rolling with some other people.
Did you already mention your YouTubes and stuff?
Yeah. Sorry, my YouTube channel is just my name. It's just youtube.com/Gabe Saltman.
Perfect. And you're going to create a Patreon soon, right?
Yeah, I'm going to create a Patreon as soon as I mean, there's just infinite projects. So as soon as it's in the flow, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Awesome. Gabriel, thank you so much. And again, for people who want to get connected, yes, follow the links for Gabriel's stuff. And again, just go to the main website and you'll see some of the videos that he and Zylok has done in the news videos feed section as well. So with that said, we'll pass it over to Jeremy. And Jeremy, standard format with what we were doing, a little bit of just like who you are, where you're from, what brings you to the project, what brings you to the Team Building Hangouts, and some media that maybe you feel inspired to help create for the project, for Quest journals and all that fun stuff. So again, Jeremy, thank you so much for joining, and passing talk over to you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I got involved with the project, as you would know, like we met back in, let's see, so Paradigm Shift was, for me, kind of an outgrowth of the Occupy movement in a certain way. I felt like it, at least it was in what I was doing in my life at that point. I was doing a lot of drumming in the public and playing the didgeridoo wherever I was looking for. I had a lot of different social things going on, a lot of protests going on in London, a lot of different things like this. And the Occupy movement in the town that me and Brendan lived at the time was still kind of going pretty strong. And they were only meeting on the weekends. They didn't have a camp anymore. It was actually one of the first camps in Canada to get shut down, kind of like by the Gov. And there was a lot of outcry, and people were really bitter about it because people's tents got thrown into trash compactors and stuff like this. It was kind of bad. But definitely a lot of spirit in the park at the time, in the Central Park in London, Ontario, where I was living at the time, and where Brendan hails from. And so I met you through that, and I didn't even know that I thought that Paradigm Shift was so big at the time. We had 50, 60 people coming out of there. Every weekend we would pack the yoga studio, and I was kind of like the drummer or the didgeridoo player that would come. And there was other musicians as well. Yeah, so for me, Paradigm Shift was a huge part of my life in London when I lived there for 4 years, and every Friday go out to it and watched it evolve. And many of it was awesome. And I actually didn't know, Brendan was so back burner about it. I didn't know that he was the one who had created Paradigm Shift until I think I had been going to it for 2 years or something like this. I just thought it was this organic thing that had just started itself. I'm very naive, when it comes to organizing or being organized. I'm more of an improvisational musician, so I guess, but then I remember when I found out that you were actually wanting to create it, I was just and I'll tell this story forever because it was just kind of funny to me. I was just what? Brendan created Paradigm Shift? I was I don't know about that. It's awesome. And you were always one of the more fluent speakers, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience to live those years there. And I'm still living them, just not in London anymore. But Yes. Now I've been working an office job this last couple of months, and it's been killing my creativity a little bit. So I'm really happy that video went well and the music went well for that, because it was a nice release for me. But it can be hard getting into the creative spirit. Sometimes I think I have to make my way back into that a little bit. Right now, that's kind of where I'm at with my creative process. Is just been coming home from work, like doing data entry, and was like, oh, like kind of missing out on some of the, whatever the brainwave is for creativity. I don't know, whatever that one. I have been missing out on that one a little bit, but yeah. So yeah, I know, like the paradigm shift community you created in London, Brendan, I think it's like awesome, legendary, so super cool, and very humble about it too. Like, I don't think that I didn't know. I don't think, but maybe that was just because it's me. But that you had created it, and it was just a good idea. You know, it just felt like it was in the air. Like people were just coming to it, and it was always just full of like good people and full of good stuff going on. But yeah, I've been trying to work on becoming more refined with more organized with my music. But actually, I had the idea today when I was hanging with my mom, getting into this concept of making more videos, actually, because I've never really been a video maker. But me and her were talking today, so it's actually kind of funny we're talking about this now. Is doing like one of those like multi-instrumentalist, like split screen, like the Brady Bunch, where it's like you have the different like instruments, because I do different things. So I'm thinking about starting to do that, because I think that's more my flow. I love dubstep and drum and bass, but when it comes to like meticulously sitting down and editing envelopes for hours, I have to. It's not quite as expressive for me as my own. But I liked it. It's something I've been pushing myself to do just to get better at it. Like I've done with chess. I remember a few years ago. You probably remember when we went. There's a bunch of us at Paradigm Shift London, and we went through a big chess phase. Everyone was learning chess and playing chess, and I was horrible. It was really, really bad. But I'm probably one of the better ones, I guess. But maybe depends on who I'm playing. Chess is a lot of different layers of chess, but if you're in certain layers, you don't even know the top ones exist. And once you get to the middle ones, you see so many top ones. You're just like, oh, wow, we're really good at it. It's like, is that all they do, or what? You know, it's like, I think some people just have a natural talent for it, right? So, but for sure. So it's been good here. Like I've moved down to Florida. It's been good for my health here at my mom's place, and I found a drum circle, and it's full of like really vibrant energy and beautiful girls, the dreadlocks and neon like LED lights in their braids and stuff like that, and it's just like really good energy down here right now. So kind of getting back into the flow of drumming, and lately I've been drumming while watching people talk about politics. It's kind of an interesting mix of philosophy where you're combining like the compassionate heart with like the analytical mind listening, while also like pulling through the energy and like starting to understand what their emotional, where they're coming at with their through music, and it's very in the moment, you know. So I've been trying to practice my drumming as a way of facilitating compassionate space. And you're very good at that, Brendan. I think just with your mouth, you don't need the crypticism of music, or whatever music is, but you're really good at just opening up the space, like right from here, where I usually fall back a bit. So I'm just but I've been practicing that in my own way. So, but yeah, creative projects. There's video things. It's funny that you're talking about this today, because I was just talking about this earlier with my mom. But the multi-instrumentalist, like the Brady Bunch video thing, I want to get into doing that, and also just like, you know, doing more ambient. I love ambient music. I've been an ambient music junkie for years, years and years. I love Soma FM and Sleepbot and all those like just amazing good ambient music channels and stuff. So, and I've been pirating a lot of that stuff. So I have just like torrents, just massive amounts of ambient stuff they can DJ together through different filters and stuff like that to kind of blend it all. So I don't know how that works with the YouTube licensing stuff, but but I like for the video that it did with your video, which was awesome. I loved your video. Like, and when you sent me the raw feed, it was just like this beautiful, inspired, like Jason Silva style, like rant. And like, I know like probably Kat who was filming it, right? So Kat's really cool. And because we had actually done a musical thing the night before where you like remixed your not cat.
Right. Yeah.
Not cat meows. Just your cat meow sounds. I liked it. I was like, okay, really quickly, and then we did it in like 20 minutes. But so I was like really feeling in the flow. And actually I have a funny story, which I'm not sure, I kind of believe in the power of secrets. This is something I could just tell you. It's actually pretty, you know, I'll say it because the space is open here. When I was doing that, the cat remix, a spider like came down and like descended from the ceiling and went right between me and my computer. It was just like floating like right here. And then it went back up. Like while I was sitting there like working with the sampler and stuff, and I was like, because I do everything on my keyboard. I have these external keyboards that I bought and I never use them. I always go back to my QWERTY keyboard. I don't know, Gabriel, if you do any music stuff, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's just like I have the idea or I'm feeling the moment, and it's just like, oh, I gotta get the keyboard. You know, it's like, but no, it's every like 90% of what I write is just right here, starting with A, going depending what program, you know. It's just like, oh, yeah. So, but anyways, I just had that super flow, and I had a spider come down. So I felt that probably shouldn't. I actually am I do believe in secrets. It's a philosophical thing that I have letting go of. I feel like the best things you shouldn't tell people are like wait, you know, for a moment when you're like sitting around a fire and like you're drumming and you like whisper in the air and be like, one time I saw a spider in my computer, but they don't care. So
yeah. Well, Jeremy, I was going
to for my secrets whenever you want to hear them anymore. Okay. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask you because you know, like I had actually mentioned to you online not too long ago, like relative to creating content, written content and stuff like that.
Yes.
I feel there's a lot there that I mean, again, for people who don't know Jeremy to begin with and stuff like that, he's very humble about this, but he knows a lot about astrology, and there's a lot of information that he carries with him. And again, like over the years that we've gotten to be able to participate at the Paradigm Shift community meetings that we do, there's a lot that I've had the opportunity of being able to hear him talk about. And so like, as an example, and side note, I want to be able to take a moment after we sort of move through this to talk a little bit about details on creating a paradigm shift community. So again, we'll get to that in a minute because that's really core and it's a big part of it. But I was just going to say, I'd love to invite and encourage you to get into the habit of like being able to write some like astrology related content that we can have through the website, whether it be either conscious articles, quote unquote, or even just a casual quest journal. You know, like not too long ago, you mentioned the idea of January 8th being a very, very significant astrological date and occurrence. And I was kind of curious. I was just like, you know, like, oh, like I'm like, I don't off the top of my head, can you tell me more about that and stuff? And so you were just telling me a little bit about that. But I know like that is a topic as an example that could be something that could be translated into a quest journal. Maybe if you want, you could maybe even just tell us real quick the short version of what 108 is actually about. But yeah, like just asking you in general, like how do you feel about the idea of practicing some writing relative to astrological stuff or any other quest journals that you might feel inspired to write? Because I'd love to hear it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I've been meaning to write, getting more into like actually sitting down and writing out articles for a long time now. It's been like, yes. How about that? I'll just say yes. And about the 108 thing, I will write more. I write better than I talk. I can tell you that much. But yeah, 108 is just the sacred number of India and China and Tibet, and Siam and Japan. All the Taoist and Hindu influenced religions, all have this concept of 108 as being a sacred number. And there's a lot of theories about it. The one that makes the most sense to me is that it has to do with astrological placements. So it has an importance with astrology, but it's kind of like the numerology of it that makes it why it's 108. It's not actually, there's no planet that like pops out of the sky, from out of the ether, just for 108 and says, I'm here, and then disappears again. It's more just the number like 420 or something like this, something commemorative. And 108 has some astrological significance in that it's 12 times 9, 12 zodiacal signs times 9 planets. So it's 108 different possible astrological placements in Vedic astrology is 9. So there's so that's probably why, but there's also some really weird mathematical synchronicities I get with 108. Like there's all these things proportional, like the diameter of the sun there's 108 diameters of the sun between us and the earth, and there's 108 diameters of the moon between us and the moon. There's a bunch of different interesting things like that. So, but yeah, I should write. So I should, and I've been meaning to for a long time. I know that you have this amazing website that's always been, which is the strange thing, because paradigm shift for me has always been like in person, and now that I've moved from London, I've really been trying to become more, because it was such an awesome part of life in London. That now I don't have that anymore. So kind of joining in on this side of it, because there's this whole other side to paradigm shift in London, where it's always people who go to your meetings but don't go online, right? And then you have the opposite. You have this other thing where you have all these people online and you never see in person. If you do, you're a mysterious man. You travel the world, going to your different festivals. So maybe you do see all these people all the time. I don't know, but yeah. So I should start to write more. That's writing's in my family, so I should do it more.
I think we should all start to write more. I mean, very, very simply put, we really should. It's like this like lost art, even when it comes to typing. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we type so much, we're on social media all day, we're using our thumbs like all the time, but like, how much are we using it to like express our heart in a really genuine way? And again, like the writing part, a lot of people are just like, I don't know how to write. It's just like practice, because I guarantee you, like once you just kind of like pick what you wanted to talk about, or even you don't even know what you're going to talk about, and you just practice typing really fast, it's almost like auto writing in a way, and without having to edit yourself, it can be very interesting to see what comes out in that moment. So again, like having this website creates this platform, creates this invitation for all of us to give it a shot in that sense. But yeah, Jeremy, I did just want to say, I want to be able to pass over to Felicia soon, because she was having a tech issue. But yes, any points that you just want to mention, and again, like thumbs up on everything you're doing, man. It's greatly appreciated, and looking forward to more of it. So
yeah, I'm happy to do anyone's videos. If anyone wants any music done for any videos, I'm happy to do ambient music. I'm actually planning on taking a class, the Hans Zimmer master class for like scoring audio. I'm planning on doing that. It hasn't started yet, but so I'm not sure if you have the same Facebook feed as me, but there's like the master class series thing. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that. It's like all these different people at Deadmau5 and these different people teaching like different things that they're good at. They're famous people that teach, and I'm planning on doing the composition thing, the movie score composition, because that's actually what I always wanted to do when I was younger, right? Sweet. So just wrapping things up, getting to your request, I have the paradigm shift. I'm in the paradigm shift, the bowels of the site here, and in the site. In the honeycomb. I'm in the honeycomb, and it says post title right here. So I'm going to write something tonight, because I'm going to do it. So
go for it, man.
You got your wish.
Dude, thank you, man. I look forward to it. Yeah. And yes, and just jumping off that with what Jeremy's saying. So like again, like with the project, part of what my role, my job as director, what I feel called to do is like helping you guys with creating the media. So like when you guys create a quest journal, I'll take a look at it. It may not be perfect, and if there's places where it can use some some like digital editing, I'll let you know. And maybe if you didn't put in an image, I'll remind you to put in an image. Maybe if the title can be tweaked, I'll give you a suggestion. I can edit things from manually inside of it. So if it's like a simple thing, I can kind of change it for you. Or if it's like you had trouble embedding a YouTube video, like I'll help with that. But again, these will be things that like you may not know all the details to begin with, but you'll begin to learn them. This is about like helping us continue to learn how to become like conscious media creators. And a big part of it is like knowing how to use like HTML, like old-fashioned style, which is what these posts actually function upon. So if you know HTML and you like go on this website, you can post like all sorts of funky stuff and use like iframe embeds. And there's other things that I can mention. There's a website I'll just mention now. Go to newhive.com, NEWHIVE.com. I think that's it. Yeah, newhive.com. You could embed New Hive pages and like have like audio in there that will autoplay through quest journals. So I'm going to be getting into that. So when people click on a quest journal without having to upload a YouTube video just of audio, you could record audio to a New Hive, embed that in the quest journal, and then your quest journal could literally be audio based. So it could be like a little bit of word, and then it's just more focused on the audio. So I'm going to play around with that myself in the future as well. And there's something, I think there was something else that I was going to, oh yes, big suggestion. When you're writing anything for the website, write it in a text document first. Don't write it right on the website. God forbid if the tab closes and you lose it, like that could be a pain in the ass, right? So like write it in a text document, wait till you're ready, and then copy and paste it again. So yeah, very simple. And again, always reminding you to add your images to your posts so they show up in the RSS feeds properly. Those are the graphics feeds. So yeah, Jeremy, thank you so much for being here. Again, thank you everyone, Devin and Gabe so far, and to everyone who's been a part of this, even for those of you just like tuning in, listening, downloading this inspiration. And with that said, we're going to pass things around. We're going to wrap up this broadcast by about 1-ish a.m., give or take a couple hours. God forbid. We'll pass it over to Felicia. And I know Felicia, she was in previous broadcasts, now she's back again. So shout out to Felicia. And Felicia, we'll just ask you what we were asking other people, just like who you are, like what your name is, where you're from, what brings you to the Hangout, what brings you to the project. It's one question. And any media that maybe you feel called to make or inspired to make, be it for your quest journals and so forth. So Felicia, welcome back to the Team Building Hangout, and we'll pass the talking stick over to you. And when you're ready, go right ahead. And 1 second, we got you on mute still. And if you try unmuting yourself on your end, we'll make sure. Yeah, okay, go ahead now.
All right, hold on.
I think that's good.
All right, there we go.
That's good.
Hello,
awesome.
Guys. All right, well, I'm Felicia, as you heard. It's a big secret. Cat's out of the bag. Actually, literally, he's right behind me. But I actually just moved to Vermont. I'm from New York, and what brings me to the whole thing is kind of the universe. I don't know. That's kind of a complicated thing for me to answer. But I would say trying to get more straight to the point of the whole like media thing. I want to say that like I got really excited when he brought up, I'll kind of get into my personal stuff in a second, but when he brought up the OA, because I was having this thought at the same time synchronistically that I'm like, oh man, and I thought about that because I literally just watched and finished it in like a day, like as of this morning, and had been thinking even more so again about how useful and important a lot of the shows like these and like Sense8, which I just got started on the second season of that as well, how important they can be, and especially with like not just like with people I don't know, like us, for lack of a better word, that are, you know, more awake and conscious and things, but to the people who aren't or need to be eventually, or, you know, to help them, you know, wake up, become conscious, think of the things that they're normally inside the box. And a lot of why it's so important for shows like these is because it lets the skeptics, especially in their safe zone, or any remaining skeptic part that any of us may have. And in the safe zone of film and TV, you're allowed to just think whatever, like, oh, well, everyone else tells me this and nothing is real, and this isn't real, this isn't real. In TV and film, you can believe whatever you want. And if you want to be like that and everyone else thinks in real life that's stupid, well, it doesn't matter, because it's TV. And going on even more to my personal side of it and what I feel called to make, I really love your reminder to write more and to just write and not be so concerned over exactly how it's done, which I think could apply to all my media, which I definitely need that advice myself, but also a lot of like fears and things like this that I have. PSAs on things. I want to, as much as yes, as I do in like audio and video engineering and production, and I went to school for it, and I do want to do gigs with it. One of my main goals is to use those skills and my intuition, my heart, and all of that to things to the mainstream, to be able to like create a really good PSA that'll really reach everyone and get it done nationally, and push for that one little thing. All those little bits that, you know, might not be, I'm changing the world with one big, I don't know, legislation or act of something, but to have like if I finally get to produce one movie that I'm working on that's based around a character that doesn't communicate via speech whatsoever. I'm trying to think of a lot of things at once, and my speech is kind of getting to the scattered point. Apologies, everyone. But yeah, there's this one character I have that, well, like a whole species, sort of. I don't want to give too much away, but it doesn't.
Oh, looks like Felicia dropped out there, so we're just going to jump right back in. No worries on that. We'll hear from her in the moment when she gets back. It's a ghost. It's a ghost cat. But yes, Felicia, thank you again for joining. And I really just admire like the inspiration and the enthusiasm that she is bringing into this. And again, like just a reminder that like there's such an awesome variety of people involved with this project. And that's really, really what makes it so beautiful. Felicia, are you still there?
I'm still
here.
Okay,
good. We lost you for a second, but
no.
Yeah, you're good to go. We can pass the talking stick right back to you. So if you want to continue where you left off or start somewhere new, whatever works.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure exactly where it like cut out. I felt like I didn't hear it at first because I could tell you guys still heard me at first, but like then I don't know. I just felt a shift, for, you know, lack of a less used word. But I'm trying to go like a couple different places with this, that like a lot of these things are very important, and like the direct ways in which I plan on utilizing my own skills and whatnot to accomplish a lot of these things. There's just like so much to say on that. My brain, like the way it works, it wants to say all of them at the same time.
No, I think we just got another hiccup there in Felicia. I was just about to ask her. I was going to ask her just kind of like what her kind of preferred form of media and medium creation would be, but we'll give it a second. We'll hear back from her. But again, you know, like I think that's with the quest journals. I'll just kind of go over some basic stuff as she's just kind of reorienting and joining again. With the quest journals, again, with the categories of the quest journals that you guys can kind of use to gather like some insight. Okay, hey Felicia, I'm just going to finish what I was just saying here real quick, and then I'm just going to pass it back over to you. Just in summary, with the quest journals, when you create a quest journal, you can create like a category that it goes under, and it can go under more than one category. The categories currently listed are journey logs, community updates, synchronicity reports, shiftivism activities, reflections, dream journals, personal creations, visions and intentions, micro posts, and videos. So again, like within that spectrum, you can kind of see that like there's so much that can fit into a quest journal, and that is what it is. It is journaling your quests, and it is creating your quest through the process of doing that. And I think it's a very beautiful thing once you start creating like a few quest journals, and you go back and you like look at the ones that you made maybe like a couple months ago, and you're just like, whoa, you know, like I'm really proud of what I created, and I'm really proud of to see I've continued to grow. And your quest journals can, like, I encourage you to put as much heart into them as you feel called to, while still reminding you that it is just practice. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be like whatever they are in the moment. So put heart into them, put love into them, and do it for yourself, and do it for that one person who may see it and get super inspired by it. But Felicia, what I was just going to ask you, in terms of media, in terms of like what type of media, like written, audio, video, what do you feel kind of like, what's your preference? Like if you're creating a quest journal, what do you feel called to do, like writing in addition to making some videos, or what would be like a bit of both kind of thing?
It'd be hard to choose. I'd honestly like, everything. Unless something limited me, I'd want to do a little bit of everything. Like I might start with a video, but if writing came first, then I'm like, oh man, like the video's not going to happen right now, but oh, the hand's going, the ideas are going, I'm writing this one out, and then, you know, and then I'll put it on or something. Yeah. Sometimes it just kind of, it's both the intuition and what can happen like logistically at that point in time. But I'm really excited to have, in addition, this extra like boost and like fire to start these things again, being in a place both in my life that I have more time and space, just like mentally and such, getting in a place where I'm grounded again to do it. But I actually finally have hold on, as I'm like almost breaking and getting to it, a proper camera to do it with finally.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So yeah, actually having like decent enough to like do like Hollywood quality stuff if I wanted to. And that's another reason, like kind of, or not reason, but going back to me just wanting to utilize, whether it be video, writing, music, what have you, all the above, wanting to utilize all those skills. Like, I mean, sometimes it's nice to just use my creative skills for whatever, just to let it out, but not just to use it to let out my feelings, but also to use it to help others, to wake people up, whether it just to other possibilities, to consciousness, to the universe, to little things. And even though, you know, still, I can't really finish that sentence. I can't. Hamster wheeling.
I like where you're going with that. Again, you know, because like for it's really cool. Like as people start to realize like what this project is, like you can almost think of it as like a classroom. You can think of it as a school. You can think of it as a university. And our assignment is like go create. And there's no grading system, but there is like this whole like leveling up process. But again, like part of the assignments is to create media that will like educate, inspire, and entertain. And some of that media, like we said, like it can be many levels. It can be something like what Gabe and Zylock are making, where it's like in your face alien contact, or it can be something very much more subtle that has like an ambient quality to it that could be just like really just like peaceful images of nature. And it's just like creating a feeling from the video, and people watch it, and maybe there's like a subtle message to it that's just like encouraging people to like look at the world with a little bit more magic. So I mean, that's kind of the thing, is that like different people will sort of vibe with different types of media, and we want to be able to like experiment with that process of creating. Because I mean, our big goal in this, one of the goals in this, I feel, is being the bridge between conscious ideas and mainstream culture. So if we're creating things like honest to God, like Gabe, I love your stuff, but it would be a hard thing to like push on some of like the mainstream people. They would just be like, this is ridiculously too much for me. I just can't even, or something, you know. And
of course, but for me, yes, the intention is just to share what's exciting for me, and whoever resonates, you know.
Exactly.
And part of it is to kind of put it through this hyperdimensional, in your face lens, because it's more so not for someone that is viewing that, who's in the mainstream consciousness. For me, it's it's implanting the imagery in the mind of the collective. So that's why it is in your face. It's getting the imagery of human and ET and hyperdimensionality like really ingrained in there. So whoever resonates with it is just going to resonate with it. But even if you hate it, at least the imagery is there, right?
Still thinking about it, even if you don't like it.
Exactly. Still thinking about it.
Exactly. And yes, and Gabe, that's what I mean. The fact that we have a team, like that's what makes it great. The fact that like different people can like focus on different branches that reach different audiences and stuff like that. So you're doing a great job, and
thank you, man. So are you.
Everyone's doing a great job. So yeah. Felicia, passing back to you. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say that a perfect example of that is about, let's say, 7 or 8 years ago, there's a couple friends of mine, one especially of which the first person I tried to start a group with, I really want to get in on one of these hangouts sometime. We used to talk about how like we felt in our intuition that this thing was happening, but we didn't know what, and we needed to start getting together with our friends like that and have conferences about it. And we didn't really know exactly what needed to be done, but we know we needed to do something about it. And it just, because of time and life, it just was never the right time, and we never got together. But then like after the first couple times, like tuning in and whatnot, like before I really got to talk, I don't know, I sat there and I just thought, I thought of it. And then I was like, wow, like,
a little bit of a break.
Look at from so strange now. It would have been like strange and ooh, with secrecy back then.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you know, like a big part of what's really cool with this project is that like maybe each person here also has their own unique audience within their own Facebook profiles, because they're already connected to their own network of friends who maybe go back to their college and high school days or something like that. So it's kind of cool when like you can kind of start putting your voice out there because you're inspired to, because this whole project exists, and then your friends see this video and be like, yo, like I saw that video of you talking about like your dreams or something the other day, like that was really interesting, you know, like can we talk about that sometime? So it's like you suddenly become this beacon for other people who already know you to see you as someone who they can talk to about more paradigm shifty stuff. So like that's part of the way how the community and the ripple expands digitally into the physically. The media is an invitation for people to say like, oh, I like their videos, I'm going to talk to them. And again, I'll just say this, Felicia, real quick, and I'll pass it over to you. Reminder, when people are making videos, videos can also be like one-shot take videos, and maybe it can even be like a Facebook live video that you did, or just a quick video that you filmed with your iPhone that you just upload literally as a raw take. Because sometimes, you know, when we're talking about making videos, it's just like, oh, that's a huge production that can take like weeks, if not months, to bring together. Yet at the same time, you can have a very effective video that might just be like a 2 or 3 minute heartfelt expression on camera. And I'll leave it up to you as to like what that may be. It could just be like you like sitting out in nature and like coming, like allowing what comes through you to be expressed. It could be you like practicing doing flowetry. It could be you just like doing a dream journal log. Again, like that's something I want to get back into, is doing video dream logs. I feel those are like very, very effective for me, and also very exciting for other people who see them as well. But again, yeah, just reminding that there are many ways when it comes to the videos. Now that we have the technology and the technology is evolving, there's lots of ways that we can use video. So don't feel like you have to create this big production, even if it's just you talking without any music to your phone and then you upload that to YouTube. You can embed that on the website. It will take a little bit of extra effort. Let me stress that, is that like with this project, posting to the main website, it demands an extra bit of involvement. But that is how you play the game. So you can think of like navigating and creating your content on the main website in the same way as to how you would operate a menu within a video game that you are playing on your computer. So rather than going and playing like World of Warcraft or StarCraft or some like MMORPG or RPG or FPS or RTS or any of those OMGs, then OMGs, like, oh my God, any of those, think of the game as that. And again, the way how you play the game is by like creating media on the website, and it goes beyond that. The way how you level up is how you evolve yourself in real life. The way how you keep track of points is the smiles that you bring into other people's realities and the connections that you make with people in your community. And that's when you'll notice that the game becomes real and real, because you'll start having synchronicities occurring within your life. And then you'll come home and you'll write about that, and you'll be like, oh, a guy like saw one of my shift buttons on the bus and I had a really great conversation with him. Again, like similar, meet a lot of people on the bus. But again, it can be like so many things. And I really feel that this project, with where it is now, again, it's been a lot of like slowly growing seeds that have enabled it to get to where the point that it is now. And that's why I'm very excited to be able to have you guys here, to be able to celebrate and to co-create and to be able to just like see what comes next through this process. So it's very, very exciting, guys. And again, another thing I will just mention with the quest journals, with any of the content on the website, then we can pass back to Felicia if there's more to share there. With any of the content on the website, I can't stress this enough. Focus on a humble balance between quality and quantity. Basically, with the quest journals, since more people are going to be using the quest journals in the future, be mindful of the fact that you don't want to like spam the feed. Don't post a quest journal every single day. At most, try to post maybe 3 times a week at most. So maybe you make a habit for yourself to say, okay, I'm going to create a quest journal Monday night, Wednesday night, and Sunday or Saturday or something like that. You know, you create a little habit of it. Or maybe it'll just be once a week. You can be like, Wednesdays, I'm going to write my quest journal or something. It could be like your week in review or something like that. Really, it could be anything. But again, just like instead of like posting like every single day, because that will sort of populate the feed in a way that may not be fair to other people when suddenly you have like 5 things back to back, whereas we want to keep that space open for people who are also contributing as well. So again, just a good balance of quality over quantity. Not to say focus so heavily on quality that it prevents you from creating quantity, but just be mindful that we just want to be able to like focus and put intention into anything that it is that we're posting, and reminding you guys that I'll be able to help you with like the nitty details of like the coding and stuff that's involved with creating your stuff. But yeah, you can totally start writing things like just in a text pad, or maybe you've already got stuff that you've written. Another example of a quest journal could even be a short story. That's something that some people have done on the website. I know Eddie Grace actually has done that. He's written a short story that he posted on the website as well. So again, just planting those seeds for the many ways of how we can create very cool conscious content. And yeah, Felicia, passing back to you if there is more that you want to share. Last we were talking about like creating like 1 minute, or not 1 minute, but like one shot take videos or something. I think that's where you kind of dropped out last. If there was something you wanted to say or anywhere,
it's a good thing you brought that up, because that's kind of what I was about to touch on. Like now that you had brought that up, and to thank you for bringing that up, because that gives me a whole like other track of ideas, and like easier, quicker to produce ideas that don't require all the effort that like I, regardless of whether or not anyone else cares, that I feel I need to put into my work, especially if it's a certain idea that's really important to me, so on and so forth. But with being able to do the shorter things, I can give that like short and sweet burst of what I want to say or do without having like, I don't necessarily have the time with everything I'm trying to get settled in my life right now to do the big productions right away, but I can at least start with the little bit here and there, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, you know, going down there's a nature trail that I can walk down like all the way into town, and say I go down that and I take a little like video and, you know, say a thing or do a thing, you know, and thing, or I don't know, I'm kind of finding other ways to repeat almost like the same thing, but that's definitely a really good idea, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm also want to thank you a second time for mentioning about just starting to write and not being like, oh God, what am I going to write about? Like, got to write the whole story in my head before I even put my hands on the paper or the keyboard. And that's kind of where I get stuck a lot. So that was definitely an extra good healthy kick in the pants.
Yeah, and this is thank you, Felicia, and a practical tip when it comes to creating media, something that I've noticed within my own habits is that if you find that there's like an idea that you're kind of like feeling ready to create, try to strike while the iron is hot. And not to say you won't do it later, but I've noticed there have been times where I'm just be like, oh, like this would be a great quest journal, but maybe I'll write it tomorrow. And then suddenly tomorrow becomes next week. And then suddenly next week becomes irrelevant. And I'm just like, crap, there goes that one, you know? And so like, if you feel kind of like that whisper from the universe being like, hey, like write this or create this or something like that, try and get it there right out of the way. Or else you end up creating like a backlog as well. Something that I'm very familiar with, like honestly, with the videos that I've been making over the years, there are a lot of videos that either never got released or ones that I haven't finished yet. And there's no one to blame for that but myself. At the same time, I'm hoping to be able to like get them out when the time comes. But like honestly, there are videos from like California from like 2 or 3 years ago that I just like didn't get to editing. And that's the thing, like when it comes to creating conscious media, and this is something we're actually going to be having more in the future with broadcasts, where we're going to be talking more specifically about conscious media creation, which is basically what this is here, is like really when you get to the process where you're filming, shooting, and editing is a thing in itself, because software wise, I'll just say real quick, check out Adobe Premiere. If you have a good computer, you can run that. Other than Adobe Premiere, I honestly don't know what the best editing software is that I can recommend. I use Final Cut Pro 7, but it doesn't run on like new operating systems, and Final Cut Pro 10 is a different thing. If someone else can look into that for me and try and find some like open, like if not free, good editing software for Mac and PC, I would love to know that, because that is a question that I haven't been able to give a solid answer for when people are like starting to get into video editing. But Adobe Premiere Pro is a software that's like worth thousands of dollars, but you can get it on like a monthly membership, and you can download it with like a 14-day free trial. So if you're looking to invest like $30 a month to have Adobe Premiere to give you that luxury of editing, can be very, very worth it. But just as, again, practical tips when it comes to filming and stuff like that, the more you film, the more footage that you have to go through, the more time that it may take to edit. As you start going through the process of learning like how filming works and everything, and again, it's a really practice, you'll experiment, you'll learn, you'll eventually sort of want to get into the habit of like almost like being very strategic with what you film. So you're kind of like filming less is more, and you're filming things where in your head you're kind of like, okay, like a checklist. And then by the time you get to the editing point, you're just like, okay, boom, 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 slap it all together, in and out the editing process, and it's ready to go. Otherwise, like sometimes like it can be like a very arduous process where the editing can take a long time. But again, if that's what your intention is, absolutely. And editing is a very beautiful process in itself. It's very synchronistic. It's very intuitive. I love approaching editing with the idea that when you bring all your work onto the timeline, the video is already like there. It's almost like the whole like metaphor with like a brick of marble and the statue is already inside. It's kind of that idea where the video is already there and you're like aligning with the future, and which brings it to fruition, and you're kind of honoring that process. So complex videos can become a very exciting thing to see how it unfolds, where you're just like, whoa, like it's actualizing right in front of me. Gabe is just mentioning in the chat iMovie for Mac. That is also a recommended product as an accessible resource. I mean, yeah, if we're talking about things that are like totally like on software and operating systems already, iMovie, as well as like Windows Movie Maker, if that's still a thing, I guess they probably do still have newer versions of Windows Movie Maker. I learned to edit on Windows Movie Maker back in like 1999, probably 1997. I was editing stuff. Wow. Like my, just as like a little feedback, because just to give you guys some insight, and this could even be inspiration for you guys. My very first editing that I was doing was editing anime music videos. it was like taking my favorite anime videos. I would actually be anime music videos that other people would make, and then I would like take the footage from them, put down like my favorite song by like Weezer or like some other band from the 90s or something, and then I would just practice putting it together, and I would practice like synchronizing the beat with like the big drops in the frame and everything like that in the sequences. And I was editing things for like Neon Genesis Evangelion, if anyone knows what that is. It's a crazy anime series, super like esoteric, and the fact that I was watching that when I was like 12 years old makes a lot of sense now for me to go back and watch it again and be like, oh, so that's like where all that esoteric knowledge got encoded into my mind somehow. Probably there's crazy Kabbalah stuff in there. Yeah, and I was also doing stuff with like Dragon Ball Z, of course, and a few others. I can actually, like, those videos are actually on my YouTube. I can post those somewhere. Maybe I'll write a quest journal about my early anime making days, something, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so just going back to the idea of like editing and movie making is a very, very exciting process. I'll just say this real quick. If people are at that point in life where they're like moving out of high school and going into college, I highly recommend you look into like the film production or television broadcast or some sort of media production program if you have that availability to you. I found that to be such a worthwhile experience because like when you go into a school system that you're doing that program, it's very open-ended. It really becomes what you make it. And as an artist, like video is like the collaborative medium of all mediums, rather than just say like making photography or making audio. Video is a combination of all of these things, and it's a combination of like storytelling and writing and drama and acting. So for me, video production like combined all of these things that I really loved into one expression. So again, if people are like thinking about going to college, really highly encourage you do that if you feel the call to.
I can attest to that, and I totally agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Gabe, did you do school for that or just any?
So I went to school particularly. I studied at.
I think Felicia was. We'll pass over to Felicia.
Sorry.
No. We'll pass over to Felicia in a minute. So, or unless. Okay, yeah, Gabe, go ahead, and then we'll pass to Felicia.
Okay, sorry.
No.
I studied at Berklee College of Music, and I studied film scoring and contemporary production. But before that, I was highly interested in active in terms of I had experience editing video and all sorts of things. I too started with Windows Movie Maker way back in the day, and so I always had that. And I was always really into, as I was growing up, making short little sketches and things like that. And when I really dove into editing videos and producing conscious media, I had the skill set to design sound for film. And I also got really heavily into editing and making content that I make now. And so for me, I totally agree that when you get into filmmaking, it starts to draw upon so many different skill sets. It starts to draw upon your writing ability, your organizational ability, your whatever kind of, if you're an artist, that comes into it. If you're a musician, that comes into it. So it's a great place to allow all these different elements of your creative passion and pursuit to kind of coalesce into one cohesive, awesome creation.
Totally, man. Totally. And what's interesting, and Gabe, I'm sure you can probably attest to this in some way as well. I noticed that like, okay, so again, like I was going through my own awakening process, and I was in school, and I was making videos, and I was always like a curious kid, and I was always kind of like wanting to make videos that were kind of like different or had like time paradoxes in them or something like that. My first video on the school news was like a video that was like a chase scene that involved a time paradox where it was like an infinite loop of the chase scene. It's kind of cool. But what started happening is that as I started, quote unquote, waking up to more of these like bigger conscious ideas, you know, when I started learning about sacred geometry and mindfulness and metaphysics and psychedelics and having my own experiences, those concepts very naturally became something that I felt called to start putting into my work. So like here I was just making videos for school projects that were fun, but evidently like it was something where it was like, okay, you know, like I did this for my own creative expression. It's a neat little video and everything, but it's not really going to shift anyone's paradigm, but it would still be fun to watch. Eventually it was just like, okay, how can I start making videos with a little bit more intention? How can I start like focusing my skill sets so that I can use my talent through video production to help change the world was really like what I wanted to do. And that's where, you know, the ideas started getting bigger. And that's where, again, like the cross media aspect is what the Paradigm Shift project originated as. Like it started with me documenting videos and filming, you know, like original Paradigm Shift meetings and making like the original videos from way back in the day. You can find these on the main website of the Sight Beyond Sight videos. And this was like a 9-video series where we had guest speakers come into the Paradigm Shift meetings that we had in the college. And then I would film those, interview them, edit it all together, do an intro, outro. And it would be like this nice little 10-minute video that would link to like a 50-minute video presentation. And like the first one's on lucid dreaming and astral projection. The second one's on like a lady's near-death experience. Another one's on like energy attunement or like energy healing. Another one's on Reiki. There's some really, really cool ones there, just as examples. But again, as that evolved, and then eventually it became very natural as the technology evolved, where I was like, oh, cool, now I can start doing radio broadcasts. So by 2012, I logged on to Blog Talk Radio, and I was like, all right, I'm going to start doing some radio broadcasts. I love the idea of doing live broadcasts. That was a new thing back in 2012. So that's what you have to realize, that this project has been evolving as the technology evolves, which is really exciting because you realize that the technology is still evolving. And I'll get into that in a second. But with where it was back in the day, so that's where we got like the Paradigm Shift Radio originated with the live broadcast through Blog Talk Radio. People were calling in, we were having this discussion, we were sharing the story through the Blog Talk Radio of how there are Paradigm Shift communities across the world and how we're encouraging people to create them and helping bring the tribe together and doing free hugs and talking about the movies that we were making and everything. And then so this continued to evolve, and now it's gotten to the point now where, as you can sort of tell, Paradigm Shift Radio isn't really what it was. It naturally transformed because Google Hangouts suddenly became a thing. And now that Google Hangouts became a thing, suddenly it's just like, okay, instead of using Blog Talk Radio, which doesn't have as good sound quality to begin with, we can create essentially the same concept here, yet we have the addition of video, and all I have to do is do like a little bit of post-production, and I re-upload it to Blog Talk Radio as a single audio file, and people still download it as a podcast. So like what we're creating right now is a podcast, even though it's on a Google Hangout, and it's just using the resources that we have. So it's really cool. And again, like what makes it possible is like the little bit of facilitation that we put into it, opposed to it just being like random discussion. It's the intention that we create. We create a container around this broadcast, and you know that shows through the broadcast that we do. There's a setup time, there's a pre-production and post-production, but it pays off. And again, what I'm just noticing is that where the technology is evolving into, I'm just going to plant the seed, is the prospect of well, there's a couple things I could say. One of them being like the mobile aspect of like augmented reality, which is like a whole nother thing I want to get into, of like creating like a Paradigm Shift mobile app. That would be another aspect of the game, but we'll talk about that more later. But also the idea of shared virtual reality. That is something that I am very excited about. So as much as the Paradigm Shift physical meetings are like so effective because you're sitting in a circle and you're talking to people, eventually there's going to be a point where we're going to be able to have shared virtual reality team hangouts. So essentially like what we're doing right now is like getting ready for that, where it'll be like this much more like just kind of like going into the shared dream space, and having the meetings there and really seeing on like what that is going to unlock, and also in unlocking in terms of like our ability to share knowledge. Because imagine being in a virtual reality space and then someone who's in front of you. This technology already exists. Like, you know, Facebook is working on it, Microsoft is working on it. It exists. It's just not publicly available yet, but we're seeing it today. This was the year of VR. We're seeing it. It's coming out. But imagine, you know, you're sitting in a virtual reality, you have your headset on, you're talking to your friends, it can be a live broadcast or otherwise, and then the person in front of you is like, oh, you know, like, here, let me show you like a 3D rendition of like a star tetrahedron. Let me show you some sacred geometry in 3D form. And suddenly you're going and you're walking around holographic structures and you're seeing things and you're pulling up images and you're pulling up maps and you're connecting dots and you're just like learning in this really new and exciting way that, again, I know that's coming, and I've known that's been coming for a while, and I feel that like a big part of what the Paradigm Shift Central project is like slowly evolving as the technology evolves, with the anticipation of where the technology is evolving into. And that's been a big part of like the website as well. And again, like just like yeah, there's more to it. It'll kind of flesh itself out, and by all means, like the mystery of it will still be there, because I can't say for certain what everything will be, but there's definitely some key aspects that we are getting more and more closer to when it comes to technology. But yeah, like and this is just kind of a side note, because it's kind of interesting. The global story meditations that we do, you guys are familiar with those. A lot of you are familiar with those. If you're not, you can go back and check them out. Now that they're on the main website, they're like right at the top on any of like the articles and stuff. But those in themselves are like using an internal, natural, hyperdelic form of shared virtual reality. Really, like you think about it, like everyone gets into a synchronized meditative state. Like that's how it works. Like the first, like you listen to those meditations, the first like 10-15 minutes is like us like logging into that space where we relax our body, we go into stillness, and then through the shared narrative we actually enter into like this collective virtual reality that's an actual like internal virtual reality powered by the concept of storytelling. So again, it's just kind of cool that we have like, we're tapping into like this natural virtual reality while getting ready for digital virtual reality at the same time. And I feel like that's where the future is going to be moving towards, is kind of like this crossing over of like metaphysical spiritual experiences and technological augmentation as well. So you're gonna, another thing what you might see in the future, I hope, I feel like, because this is like something that I've always had the idea of, is where dreams are actually going to become more augmented. So rather than just falling asleep in a dream, oh, we fall apart all the time, we bring ourselves back together again. That's what life's all about. You go into a dream, and imagine as you fall into a dream, you maintain lucidity, and suddenly you're in a dream as if you're in a virtual reality, and you're just like able to access servers and rooms and places that you can go to. So within the dream space, rather than just being like, oh, it's completely random and I have no control over it, so to speak, depending on the level of consciousness, it would be like going to sleep and be like, okay, I'm gonna go on a magical quest. I'm gonna like go play Counter-Strike, if some people want to do that in their dreams. Some people would be like, oh, I'm just gonna go back to the bordello or something like that, right? But then other people would be like, all right, let's go to the dream tree. Let's go to the paradigm shift dream tree. And it'll actually be something where there would be like a consistency to it. So this idea sounds like it's out there, but see where we are by the time we get to 2020, and it may not seem as far-fetched as it sounds in this moment. And I don't even think it sounds far-fetched in this moment, but we're seeing it. It's getting there. Virtual reality is kind of the stepping stone towards that. And then eventually we're going to have like augmented dream technology in the next decades. I would think so. Felicia or Gabe, did you guys have thoughts on that? Or Felicia, did you have thumbs up from Felicia? Gabe, did you have anything to say on that? Or
well,
go for it.
Oh, she does. Great.
Oh, Felicia, okay, Felicia, we're gonna.
No, you go first.
Yeah, we're gonna pass over to Felicia. That's fine. Felicia, let me just check your microphone real quick. Go ahead, Felicia.
Does it work?
It works. You're good.
So I've been wanting to bring this up for a while, like ever since this started kind of really coming to me or showing up a little bit before like the last thing you had. I don't know if it's the last broadcast you had, but the one in December. And a lot recently, I'm in my waking moments, and it's like I not just remember, but I like feel, and I'm like suddenly like in again for a moment, like one of my dreams, but like one of my really significant dreams, or one of my like long running repetitive dreams. And it's not necessarily like caused by a trigger though. I'll be like making a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden my gut, like I feel it before I think of it, and I'm just like there all of a sudden for a second. And it'll be parts of dreams sometimes too that's my first time like remembering it, or I already remembered it and I forgot about it, and like I can't even really figure out why yet. But it was just happened that I at the very least felt inclined to bring it up to dream class or to this group here, and like ask if anyone else has experienced a similar thing, and being curious if it might be more than just with my life. It might kind of have to do with the times, the changing of the times, if anybody else has something like similar to that. But I don't know, like remembering your dreams in random spurts doesn't sound exactly strange. I don't know. It sounds weirder when, like, a lot more normal actually, and less weird when I say it out loud, I suppose. But I think it's the feeling of it and just how it, like, that gets me, and it hasn't happened like that usually. Like, I'll be able to remember, but it's just in such an odd way, and it'll be like I'm remembering all of them, like dreams I've had trouble remembering, like, and it's those like intense, like, the not just the feeling but the details on a non, like, oh, I'm delving into things that I'm having trouble like expressing with language right now. Think I might at least be getting my main point across, but let me know if it's like, if there's anything particular you might need clarification on. The other way I can clarify what I'm experiencing and like what exactly I'm asking, but I don't think I can really word it words to it that would make it make any more sense.
So you're asking
Sense to anybody?
You're asking for like shared input on your dream experience, basically? Was that?
Kind of. Just if anyone else like either has ever experienced such a thing, or especially if currently and maybe over the past couple months or just during the new year change, that maybe they've experienced something similar.
Okay, I think Gabe actually might have a response
I could
to
briefly
that.
speak on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll hit on that, and thank you, Felicia, and then we'll root back into some of the aspects with media and stuff like that, because there's lots of other stuff that I'm sure we could branch off to. But go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, so I'll just make this as concise as I can. So the first thing to understand for everyone that's listening to this is that physical reality in of itself is a dream. And so as we're moving more into a higher vibration of consciousness, we're bridging the vibrational gap between our physical consciousness and the higher mind. And this is allowing us to become more of aware of the fact that this is a dream. So the sort of deja vu experience that you're having is your higher self reminding you that all possible realities that could ever be experienced are happening here and now. And this is another thing about moving into higher dimensional reality, is that we start to experience time non-linearly, but more cyclically as a loop. And so you're having the ability to access all of these simultaneous timelines in this present moment. And so it's a very normal part of this ascension process. I speak to you as someone that has these experiences all the time. And as a matter of fact, in my life, I don't really experience physical reality anymore. I experience this fully as a dream. So what you're going through, in other words, is just a normal part of the process of you becoming aware of the fact that this is in fact a dream.
Yeah. Felicia, go ahead if you wanted to respond there.
That actually makes a lot of sense, both in general, like isolated, and with everything that's going on, like situationally in my life, and what I like intuitively know I'm not say going through, but growing through. Like if you go into numerology and like life path numbers and repeated things like that, with like, I heard that a lot of things show up in general, but I've been getting a lot more fives lately, and other like nations that anytime, like sometimes I see them and I'm like, maybe I'll look it up, maybe I won't, but sometimes I'm like, intuition says, no, you got to find out what that one means. And most of them are some form or another basically saying the same thing, that it's a major, in like whatever you're doing, but like it's a good thing, but you're growing a lot, and this is like another big turning point. So that would make a lot of sense, and both like aligned with what I'm actually like continuing to learn, delving into all the other, strange and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're doing a wonderful job.
That actually like really seems like the most logical thing.
Cool.
I think it's interesting because what we were talking about there, just like kind of like waking up to our intuition. For me, I've thought about it, about like how that could be a good reference for either a quest journal or a conscious article. I was kind of thinking like there's this concept, and I'll just run it past you guys real quick, about the idea how like each of our chakras, if we want to use those as reference, has like their own way of like tapping into like intuitive senses. And by realizing that like each chakra kind of has like a unique signal that we receive as intuition, it can help us sort of like begin to navigate this reality a little bit more. So I mean, it's just like, you know, like you'll get like the gut feeling, the very like well-known stereotypical gut feeling intuition, and that's like kind of, you know, your solar and stuff. And then you'll sometimes get like the root chakra intuition, which could like be very obvious, like some sort of either fear or like a sexual urge or something like that. And then you'll get like heart twangs, and, you know, you'll kind of feel like your heart getting pulled. And then again, you can get like your third eye and your throat and stuff. Each of these chakras kind of has like this like subtle sense, and you can almost think of it as just like the organ communicating to you in a way. But if you sort of break down its like hyperdelic connection to this bigger idea that each chakra is actually there as a portal to receive information from the future, then it begins to make a little bit more sense. So it's like your heart is like literally like getting information from the future before it arrives in your present moment. You feel it there, and you might almost discredit me and be like, oh, like, what was that? And then it's just like, oh, it's nothing. And then, you know, and then that's one way of going about it. But if you take notes of it, you'd be like, oh, you know, like maybe that like is a call for me to do the thing that I didn't want to do, or to go to a certain place at the right time to arrive for a certain synchronicity that the universe is trying to like get me to call myself into. Yet if we're not fully in tune with what that feeling is in the first place, we might not fully act on it. So, you know, like that is like the intuition, the senses through our chakras, that is like us communicating with ourselves. And sometimes it can be there to like help nudge us in the right direction. But if we're not aware of what the signals are in the first place, then we might not fully react and respond to the nudges in the same way that we could if we were aware of what they were. But again, just that basic, honestly, just that basic idea that our chakras are literally portals receiving information from the future and the past is such a cool idea. And I feel like that is something that I want to be able to like help get out there, because I don't feel, I feel like maybe it hasn't been explained quite in the way that I feel like I could explain it, either through a video or conscious article or something like that. But again, I'll just say this real quick. With any of the media, as you're getting more involved with like either writing quest journals and conscious articles, one objective to keep in mind is the idea of like crystallizing information, taking concepts that may be very big and out there and presenting them in a way that can be accessible and understandable. You know, like it's the genius is like someone who can take a complex idea and explain it simply. Like Einstein basically said that. So again, I think that's like, Gabe, you do a lot of this as well. You know, you and Zylock, you take some really, really freaking big ideas like related to like hyperdimensional reality, and you process them into words and images combined that express this knowledge that, again, a big part of this whole paradigm shift is that a lot of the information isn't so much of teaching people something entirely new, but helping them remember something that they already know. And so like when you sort of tap into that, it's like, how can we help them remember? And so there's like certain ways of saying things, certain ways of presenting things. And I'm not saying I know what all those ways are. You'll kind of know them when you get to them, kind of thing. But yeah, but basically encouraging you guys to consciously crystallize big ideas into a form that you can express them. That is what media is really valuable for. You take this big idea, put it into a 5-minute video and say, here you go. You know, it's like sharing a dream with someone. And that, I feel, is like such a very beautiful thing of what we're doing. We're like dream creators on multiple levels. But Gabriel, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add something real quick in terms of creating conscious media. It is always totally my excitement to take these big ideas and to make them into a format for people to understand. But even more beyond just sharing the information, the thing that reaches people, what I have learned, is the energy in which you are transmitting. It's the intention that you're coming at this whole creation from. And so you could be talking about otters holding hands, but if you're in a space of pure alignment and excitement to assist in the evolution of consciousness, then it reaches a very, well, I shouldn't say it necessarily reaches a lot of people, but it has a profound effect on people. So it's just something to keep in mind when you guys are creating media. Always be very clear as to what your alignment is as you're creating this. Mm-hmm. Not so much on how big of an idea you can kind of bring into physical form. But it's just express yourself freely and purely and have fun doing it.
Absolutely. Having fun being such a key thing. Like, again, I'll just remind us as we keep going through that, really just play, have fun, get creative, put your hands in the dirt. Just like remember how to be a child and step into the enjoyment of like what happens when you foster something into existence. Like I love the idea of creating art is like birthing something. You know, literally we're parents of the art that we create, and we'll carry ideas with us. Sometimes we'll carry them for longer than 9 months at a time, and then suddenly we birth it out into the world, and it's just like, there it is, it's right in front of me, I'm looking at it, it's beautiful, and you go up to somebody and be like, here, look at my beautiful baby, you can hold it for a while. And then suddenly that baby goes viral and there's babies all over the place. That metaphor only works so far, but yeah, basically, again, I think it's really important. Check in with your intentions when you're making your video, and not to say you have to know 100% what it is, but really just check in, because I think it's about like that balance between like self-expression and also realizing that yes, you want to be heard, you want to be seen. I think that's normal. I think the ego, that's an okay thing of the ego. Like it wants people to hear its story. That's a very powerful thing. Just be realistic of the fact that if you're putting that out, you also have to show up to listen to other people. The only balance is when you like say like, everyone look at me, and then when someone else says, hey, want to hear my story, and you're just like, nope, or something like that, that's where things get unbalanced. But like when you're like actively like putting your message out there and inviting others to share their message with you, and you become like this recipient for it, that's very powerful. And another thing I will just say, because this is a big lesson for me as well, popularity and success are not the same thing. Those are two different things. So keep that in mind. You might see some other video on the internet and maybe it's got like thousands and thousands of views, and part of you will just be like, oh, like my video is better than that video. Why isn't my video that popular or something like that? There's a time and a place for everything. There really is. And just like, you know, again, keep in mind that like your video might reach 500 people that other video never reached. And those 500 people might be inspired by it to go do things that you'll never even know of. So just really trust the process that like your videos are reaching the people who they're right for in the moment. And again, like with this project, a big part of it is also like growing the project and allowing it to evolve. And so it can reach more people. And so that videos will be seen by more people on a regular basis. Like even just since once I updated the website, there's already been like over 200 people who have visited the website just within this last 12 hours. That's 200 people that could potentially be browsing and coming across and seeing your articles. So again, just keep that in mind. And yeah, there's something else I think I was going to say there in the moment, but that's okay. Yeah, it will come back. I just want to be able to take a moment here because we do have some other shifters who have been joining. And guys, I will say, as much as I would love for this broadcast to keep going forever, we'll have to end it, Sandlot. We'll have to end it eventually, soon enough. I was originally saying 1 a.m. and it's 1 a.m. now. We'll end it sometime Saturday, I guess, Friday. Maybe. But yes, we'll keep going around a little bit more because I want to be able to just like give people a chance to talk and share their voice. There's something else I was gonna say. Yeah, okay. Some of the stuff that I was gonna mention real quick, and let me just do this because this is just something so that it just doesn't get like pushed too far to the end. I just want to go back to the simple idea of like the big part of this project is encouraging you guys to create the physical paradigm shift communities. So I'm just going to focus in on that real quick. The paradigm shift communities are something that anybody can create. And there's something that, again, it's like another layer to the game that you can choose to be involved with as a shifter. You can be like, you know, whatever it means to be a shifter, you can be that. And if it means like creating media and it means like working on yourself and it means helping facilitate a community, then all the thumbs up to you, as well as wherever you are along your path. Creating a physical paradigm shift community is something very simple yet very effective. And the way how it works is you have to have patience and persistence. The simple concept behind creating a paradigm shift community is creating a place where you can invite people to arrive at. And this is the model that we put out there, to have regular open-minded discussion and meditation circles. So then by doing that, you bring people together and you practice talking, much like what we're doing here, but it can be on specific topics. So you can like go around the circle and you can ask people like who they are, what brings them to the circle, and what are they interested in learning more about, or maybe 3 things that they're interested in learning in. And so some of the main topics, you can talk about dreams, you can talk about energy, you can talk about the big questions, you can talk about life after death, what is the soul, what is spirituality. There's really no limit to the topics, and that's the beauty of it, is that every single meeting will be different. The way how you create the meetings and the way how they grow over time is, again, finding a place to have your meetings. This can be either a park, it can be a library, it can be a school. If you're in a school, you can start as a club, which I highly recommend. Paradigm Shift Mexico, shout out to you guys. They're a club in Mexico, and Rachel's actually like taking media and stuff there as well. So like thumbs up to her. She's not in the broadcast, but I know she's rocking it. So again, yeah, like shout out to Paradigm Shift Mexico. Exactly, right? And it can be things like at a yoga studio. A yoga studio would almost be the ideal space, but it can be like any sort of community space. So that is something where you're going to have to put your feelers out to find a place where you can have your meetings. And then you want to have them as something regular. And then parallel to this, you're going to create like a Facebook page of your location. So it would be called Paradigm Shift Your Location. Name it after the city rather than the entire country. So rather than calling it Paradigm Shift Germany, call it Paradigm Shift Berlin. We're in Paradigm Shift London, Ontario, Canada is where we are, myself. And so when you find a place to have your meetings, all you're doing from there is using the Facebook page to slowly grow over time and creating the events and inviting people through social media to come out to the events. And then in addition, you're also engaging in real world action. So this would be things like free hugs, either talking and inviting people, word of mouth is one way to do it. So you can literally already have some friends who you know about and be like, hey, would you be interested in coming out to the open-minded discussion meditation group that we're having? I know you and I are really interested in talking about this metaphysics, and I want to help find more people in the community. Maybe they may actually be a friend who may actually be on board and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally down with that. In fact, I'll help tell other people about it. So you start tapping into the network of people who you may already be connected with. But if you aren't already connected with a lot of people, this is where you get into the beauty of doing things like free hugs. Free hugs is a crazy potent synchronistic way to be able to help jumpstart a paradigm shift community. So within the paradigm shift community, through the Patreon, that's again like the monthly support squad where people donate a few dollars a month, they get the Shifter Booster Kit. And those on video, you see like you got the free hug signs there behind me. You got the shift buttons, and each shift button has a website for paradigmshiftcentral.com. It links people into the project, and they're potent gifts to be able to give to people to leave an impression. So what you can do is you can go out there, do free hugs. The synchronicity of the universe will bring the right people to you. Obviously, instead of having to give buttons to everyone, you can kind of just like allow the people who come up to you to give you a hug to know that like they're probably open to the idea of open-minded discussion meditation group. And then when they come up to you and they give you a hug, then from there you can be like, oh, if you're also interested, there's a meeting that we have this coming Friday. Here is the information for it. And the key step in this is to have a little pamphlet. So if you have like a little pamphlet that you have that says like, this is the time and place. And again, we have the pamphlets and templates on the website as well to help you with this, or just message me anything that you need. I can help you with this as well. So it's, again, finding a meeting place, having a time for your meeting, inviting people out to the meeting, facilitating the meeting, and then repeat. And the consistency of this grows the tribe. 1 week, maybe 2 people will show up. A few weeks later, maybe like 10 people show up, and then 15 people will show up. And then this continues to grow. And then again, what you're focusing on here is the relationship that you're building with those people. Those people can very likely become your friends, like not just your friends, but even like your best friends. They could become people who are going to be very close within your life through this ongoing saga. And again, it's kind of like this bigger picture of knowing that the people you're already connected to, you are already connected to the people you have yet to meet. And so like it's that idea of a soul tribe reunion. And you can almost think about the idea that the paradigm shift community already exists, and there's already about 10 or 15 people who you are already connected to, yet you have to be the catalyst to show up to say like, I'm going to help bring these people together. And those other people are probably just like waiting for something like this to happen. And then as it becomes a routine, it becomes like a social occurrence. that becomes a very refreshing thing for the soul. So example, even for us in Paradigm Shift London, right now we've been having our meetings just at a shawarma restaurant. You could do yours at a restaurant too. It could be a cafe. It can be anywhere. Different places have different vibes, have different styles to the meetings. Different meetings can go in different ways. But again, when we have our meetings on Fridays, it's very just like a relaxing opportunity for us to come together, eat food, and to vibe off each other, to spark our spirits, to fuel ourselves up with inspiration, and to be able to have like paradigm shifty talk. And we can also use that space to like bring accountability into our journeys. You know, we'll talk about our dreams, we'll talk about our aspirations, we'll talk about our challenges as well. And we'll be there as mirrors for each other. And when you get into the place where you can actually do group meditations with people, that's a very powerful thing too, because you start like having that physical space and the physical energies there and the physical vibrations there. It's a very, very powerful experience. And again, as you start facilitating these meetings, start off very simple, yet you will grow as a leader as you do this, as you answer this call. And you might not know exactly how it will all play out if you're starting brand new, but just like if you feel the call, follow your heart, and it will happen. And it's a very simple formula. And so again, like as you evolve the community, your community evolves and you evolve. And that's the game, is to literally like look at the fact that there wasn't a community and now there is a community. And now a month later, it's even bigger. And a month later, it's even bigger. And suddenly that actually becomes content for you to write quest journals about. So you can say like, today we had our first paradigm shift meeting. Here's how it went. And you can even take notes. You can even film videos at it, whatever works for you. You can start to get creative. So I'm just going to show you guys real quick, because on the website, and then we're just going to get back into some of the regular stuff. I'm just going to show real quick on the video screen on the website, the team map. So, or just before that, on your main controller up at the top. So again, the controller is the white thing underneath the banner. The controller on there, you can see that at the top right, it says Community Startup Guide. If you click there, you can go there, and that's got some like old podcasts. They're a little bit old, but they're still relative. You can click there for more information and links on like additional stuff. And I encourage you to go read that. But in the top of the controller, you'll see the team map. If you click on the team map, I'm just going to show you real quick, because this is going to be a big part of the project later on, and I still have to update it, but it's just a really cool part of the project. So you can see actually here, unique visitors, 60,279. Earlier today, that was barely at 600. So there's almost been 300 new people who have visited the websites just since today. So that number is going to continue to grow, and we haven't even pushed the website in a big way yet. Once we start getting articles, it will start bringing in more audience. But just scrolling down here with the team map, I just want to show you guys real quick the team map. It's a little bit different on mobile, but I just wanted to show you the concept real quick. The red icons are the paradigm shift communities. So not all the paradigm shift communities that are going to be on here are fully active. That's part of the challenge with the project, is that since it's been around for so long, some of the paradigm shift communities have actually sort of like started, and then they just kind of like didn't really like continue. People maybe moved out to a different city for whatever reason. But ideally, I want to be able to get a list of paradigm shift communities where they're like active and everything. And if that means starting fresh, that's totally cool. But within this list, you can see all of these little icons here. This is just a really cool thing, because it's actually showing us where some of the shifters are on the team. So each one of these links that we click here actually has the link to the person's profile on the Paradigm Shift Central website. So to get added to the map, you create a profile on the website, and then through there, it includes like your player, your game information, including your shift missions accomplished, astrological sign, primary elements, archetype patterns. The archetype patterns, for those of you who aren't familiar, those are kind of like gamification. So example here for Dawn, her archetype patterns are Cosmic Healer, Visionary Seer, Transformational Messenger, Love Ranger. Some other ones are like Mindful Viking, Elven Kin, Psychedelic Ninja. They're just kind of like fun terms that we use that also give a little bit of clarification as to what people's personalities are. It's almost like an archetype. So you can see here, again, I'm just kind of like clicking on a few things to show you how this map will work. There's about 300 people who I have to add to this map manually over time. But again, think about the idea that you can use this map, if you're new to the project, to check if there are any shifters in your area. If there are, maybe you can contact them, send them a message, and invite them to be able to help you create a paradigm shift community, or to actually check to see if there's a community already started. So on the left, you can see, for those of you in the video, that you got like the whole list here of all the shifters. You can actually run searches on this based on like even archetype patterns. So if you click on like the drop down here, you can drop down to astrological sign, and say I want to just put in water. And then if I run a search on that, that gives me, that's weird. I don't know why that didn't work that time. But normally, like when you do that, it will like bring up like all of the aspects of people who have that within their profile. So let me just see if I can. No, is that gonna work? Maybe. There we go. So I just ran a search here where I clicked on YouTube and then I clicked on YouTube search. This actually gives me a list here. All of these people here on the left are people who have YouTube channels, which is actually really helpful for me as an admin. So you can play around with the search engine. I encourage you to do that. And I encourage you to take time here to like read through some of the profiles. Literally, like just click them at random and be like, who is this person, right? And then if you click on their profile link, like that's where you can actually see more of their videos. So I'm actually going to click on Brianna's profile link here as an example, because she's got stuff in her profile. So you go to there and then you click on profile link. That's going to open up in a new tab. And then that's going to take you to the profile on the main website. And that's going to show you a little bit more about who she is and what she's actually been creating. So you can actually see here, this takes you right to some of the videos that Brianna's been making. So you got like her quest journals there as well. So it's a really cool way of doing that. And again, going back to the map, if you look, there's the drop down for the communities as well. So I'm just gonna reset this and I click on the left here, and you can see I don't have all the communities in yet. I literally only have a few that will get updated soon. But again, this map is going to be very useful in the future, and it's going to continue to grow. And if you scroll down a little bit more here on the team map aspect, you can see all of these lists. This is a list of like all the paradigm shift communities that's not even fully up to date. But again, not all of these are fully active. But again, it can show you that like throughout the evolution of this project, people from all over the world have been involved with it. And it's really, really cool. And it's really, really exciting to see that we are all over the place. So yeah, those are kind of the main aspects that I wanted to be able to share with you guys. Sorry, where's that feedback coming through right now? That's weird.
Someone joined the chat and
yeah. Okay, there's two Michaels, that's why. No worries. Okay guys, so I'm just going to switch off screen share there. But again, I just wanted to show you, because that's another key part of the main website, and that will be updated a little bit more, but it's there if you didn't know about it. And again, it's just another part of this project that's really cool. And a big part of this project, you can think of it as like, that's part of what my goal has been presentation of data. Essentially what this project is, it's this amalgamation of data, and presenting it is what makes it work. So again, the game is the website. The game is what you live. The game is what you create. The game is building your paradigm shift community. So thumbs up and kudos to all of you for listening this far at least. And again, the purpose of us sharing this story is to invite you to be involved and to encourage you to like tap into, to be fueled by this collective story, knowing that you're part of the bigger momentum, and to carry that inspiration forward with you so that you can help shift the paradigms where you are. And again, that honestly, it could just mean like smiling at a stranger and like having a conversation with a friend about like dream exploration or something like that. That's how it starts. The shifter is like every day there's something that a shifter can do. And just that shift into thinking of yourself as a shifter, someone who is intentionally helping shift consciousness, opens up your eyes into more of the ways of how you can begin to like weave through this reality, and the universe will actually respond to it. It'll be like, oh, like this person's looking to get involved with shifty stuff. We're going to start connecting them with more people. We're going to start bringing synchronicities into their life. We're going to start inspiring them. So like it's really kind of like this infinity loop process in which, as you make the choice to start answering the call of the shifter, the call of the light guardian, the call of the Jedi, it's very exciting. It's very exciting to see what happens. So there we go, guys. Awesome. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to ask me in this moment. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share, basically going back to the idea of creating the physical paradigm shift communities. So key, so important. Stay tuned for that. There will be more updates as we keep going. And again, like that's kind of the long term. Checking in now, check back in later, and we'll see where we are. Later in the broadcast, again, the schedule for the broadcast right now isn't totally consistent. And you'll have to be patient with me on that. But right now, I have to mitigate when I'm doing my broadcasts until I get some other things taken care of, such as focusing on Journey to Lucidity 3, the full-length movie that I'm finishing up. But in the meantime, ideally, what I'm going to actually want to do is to actually have other people helping co-host broadcasts. So that can be something that I'll talk to people on side. And I was going to say, Gabe, that might be something that you might be able to help out with. So with that said, stay tuned for future dates for broadcasts. I can't actually promise if there's going to be one next week. I would prefer that there's not one that I'm hosting, again, just because that gives me more time to focus on other stuff. The broadcasts do take time, and there's only so much time in a day, but nonetheless, they happen when exactly they're needed to, and sometimes less is more. So thank you guys for being a part of this one. So with that said, guys, within this broadcast, we've really covered a lot of the core aspects of what the Paradigm Shift Central project is, and was the objective of it, bringing you guys up to speed on the website, encouraging you how to create quest journals and conscious media, showing you the media feeds, showing you the Paradigm Shift Central TV, the randomization of it, showing you like how to create communities, talking a little bit about free hugs and stuff. We didn't even get super into the details of free hugs, but it's almost kind of state the obvious of how effective free hugs are. And I will just say this now, and then we're going to pass the talk and stick around. Just huge shout out to those of you who are supporting on Patreon. Again, you guys are what make these broadcasts possible. So huge shout out to you guys. And again, just linking this back in with the free hugs, when you sign up for the Patreon, the way how this works, this is a form of sacred commerce, and this is a big part of the project. And I think this model is actually something that other people are going to be able to start echoing. Microtransactions are what make this possible. So when people sign up for $3 to $5 a month, we're giving them the Shifter Booster Kit, which is worth like $70. And then that gives them the gear to be able to help them connect with people where they are. So if you can create a free hug sign without the Shifter Booster Kit, by all means, but we give you free hug signs in the kit anyways, but the buttons are like the things that are like super potent, and we produce those, and they're all handmade. And again, those have the websites on them, and each button is a tool to be able to help you can use to spark synchronicity. Wearing a button on you, so example, I'm wearing the Eye of Ra and I'm wearing the Triforce. Someone might come up to me and they might be like, whoa, like I really like your button. That will be an opportunity for me to be like, oh, cool. Like here, you can have it if you want. And they'll be like, whoa, like what? Seriously? And be like, yeah. Like they're meant to be given away. That's the idea. And simply wearing them, the universe will like see people wearing them. And then you never know. You could be at a grocery store. You could be like, again, on the bus. I keep saying that. You could be at school. Sometimes the buttons jump off your backpack. And I'm hearing stories of people who like have the shift buttons, because recently we sent out thousands of shift buttons, and people are like, yeah, like I've been giving them to people at my work and they're making a difference, and people are asking about them and they're having fun giving them away. Like the act of giving is such a rewarding experience in itself. So the shift buttons are super important. And again, to sign up to the team Patreon, go to patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. Signing up for as little as $3 to $5 a month. $3 gets you the basic Shifter Booster Kit. $5 gets you the full Shifter Booster Kit, which includes the Level 1 crystal massage tool and a crystal wire wrap and more buttons. And it gears you up. It like, you can think of, again, if this is like a real world game, then you can almost think of like the Patreon as kind of like that extra bit that you can pay to like get more out of the game. And it's very free to begin with. But again, like investing into the team gets you a lot back when you're using the shift buttons, which opens up like new opportunities in your reality. And simply wearing them evokes synchronicity. Even to people who you may not know. Just as an example, when I was like going into my hockey game, I was playing on a new team, and one of the guys saw my Triforce button. I don't think at that point is like super shifty, but he knows what Zelda is. And so I'm just like, oh, cool, man. Like here, you can have it. So I gave him that. I don't know what he did with it, but that seed is planted. Maybe he checked out the website. Maybe he watched Journey to Lucidity. Maybe he's tuning into this broadcast right now. You never know how far that one seed will go is basically the idea. And even when you're taking buttons and you're just planting them around town, that's another thing. Plant them in places strategically. Leave them on bus seats. Leave them on park benches. Put them in like places where people will find them. That's always a fun thing to do, is where you just kind of like leave them around and then you come back. I put them in malls sometimes, on the benches in malls, and like, kids pick them up and stuff like that, like they're like, either they can like buy like little ones from Hot Topic for like $5, or they can like get free ones on the bench or something like that, right? So yeah, so again, the shift buttons are super potent, and I just really want to remind you guys that those are available, and those are made possible through the Patreon, and you get those through the Patreon. And some of the other things on the buttons, you got like also like sacred geometry, you got the Paradigm Shift sigil, you got ancient esoteric art. This is some like crazy Gnostic stuff. That's like ancient art of like the 5 elements in like an embodied form. And there's like, I'm not saying I know exactly what that is, but I'm saying like looking at that like taps into some like deeper stuff of the mind. And yeah, like flower of life are some common ones. So again, there's a whole conversation here about the power of symbols. And that's really like what makes the shift button so powerful. And we've been using the shift button since like 2011, since my buddy, I started hanging out with him, and he had a button machine, and he was like, yeah, you can make buttons if you want. And I was just like, like heavy breathing. I was just like, are you what? Like wait, I have a website. I can put websites on a button. Oh my God, I just created a holographic matrix. Like boom, right? Like you don't have to give people DVDs. You give them a button with a website on it. That's how it works now. So again, like the imagery on the buttons, things like the Eye of Ra, things like the Flower of Life, people see these. And again, it's that idea of like tapping into that deeper part of our conscious that remembers what these are. And people will see the Flower of Life and they'll be like, whoa, like, what is that? Like, I don't know what that is, but I'm drawn to it. And then maybe if you're giving it to them, you can be like, oh, that's like, have you ever heard of sacred geometry? The Flower of Life is a representation of a common proportion found all throughout reality. Go up and go home and look up sacred geometry. You can find more on it. Or maybe in 5 months from now, the reality encyclopedia will be up on the website. Go to the website, look up the sacred geometry. Go to the website, watch Gabe's video, you know, things like that, right? So you can see the simplicity and the effectiveness of this project, and just reiterating it. And the reason why I'm reiterating it is because there's always going to be people who are newly tuned into this and just bringing them up to speed. And that's what I want this episode to be about, is really bringing you guys up to speed. And again, like the free hugs with the shift buttons are next level potent. That's like, that is where you like unlock superhero ability. Like straight up, like you see me doing this in videos, like where you go out there doing free hugs with shift buttons on you. Like I wear my shift buttons on like a pouch, so I have them as like a strap across my chest sometimes. And you go there with the intention of like helping unplug people from the matrix. And so like you go there and you're standing on a street corner and people come up to you, they give you a hug, and you can say, here, you passed the test. You hold out 3 shift buttons and you let them pick one, and they take one with them. And then if you do this on bar night, you're starting to plant some very potent seeds, and you're connecting with people. Like when I do this on bar night, like guaranteed within it, there will be like a handful of people that come up to me and they'll be like, dude, like you have no idea like what this means to me. Like, oh my God, like I was like, I'm either looking for someone to talk to about this stuff, or I'm already totally into this stuff. And then, you know, I'll have conversations with people, and some people will just be like, one time I had a conversation with a guy, and he was telling me about like these crazy lucid dreams that he had. And it was just amazing being able to listen to him. So again, understanding how synchronicity works is a big part of this. When you understand that you standing in one spot with a free hug signs creates a portal. If the universe knows that you're there with intention, the universe will, beyond space and time, bring people to that corner for them to connect with you. And the right people will connect with you at the right time. Hold space, be present, be love, and you will change the world. And that is like such a powerful thing. And so, I mean, again, like the free hugs and the shift buttons combined is like me gifting everyone the superpower ability that is real. And it's one that I have been living for like 6 years. So like, I know it's real, and other people are experiencing it too. And that is like the bigger part of this project, is the activation of the global team of superheroes and Jedi and light guardians. So you can see there's some very exciting things to be involved with this project. And another thing, this is the thing I was going to remember earlier. This is kind of tied in, but like, I just really wanted to honor the fact, because I was saying, you know, like success and popularity are 2 different things. I really wanted to honor the fact that the people tuned into this project right now are meant to be tuned into this project right now. And basically what I mean by that is that I am, and it took me a while to realize this, I consider myself blessed and fortunate that this project is not super duper popular. Because if it was, we wouldn't be able to function it the way how we do. It needs to start off with a smaller community in order for us to get our bearings, in order for us to start practicing. What if, you know, again, like what if this was spirit science, just as a comparison, and suddenly I invited everyone to start posting quest journals. Suddenly we got like hundreds of quest journals, and half of them are trolls, and it just becomes a mess, you know? So like this is giving us the place where, because it's a small amount of people, it's really allowing us to grow it like intentionally, slowly, and building a strong foundation in the process. And so for those of you who are here now, even though this project has been going for like 7-8 years, like almost a decade, we are still like the vanguard. We are still like stepping into new chapters, and we are still right at the beginning of like everything that we've been leading up to in this moment. So if you're just tuning into this project, then you got here at a wonderful time, because this is where it gets like really, really exciting. So yeah, that's just me just like downloading and sharing some of the inspiration and the excitement with you guys. And again, reminding you guys, if and when you want to sign up for the team Patreon, check out the links on the website. Even up at the top, you can go to the menus and there's a donate button there, or patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. And thank you again to the Patreon supporters. And again, another thing that the Patreon supports is also more free shift buttons that we continue to give to the community. So stay tuned for those, because we'll be doing more free shift button giveaways as well. Another thing I'll just show you guys real quick, Light Guardian crystal pendants. If anybody wants any of these bad boys, feel free to message me, because these are available to anybody who wants to pay what you wish between 30 and 60. You can find them through the main website, and those are handmade here, and those are actually a big part of the game. You'll actually be seeing what I'm going to do. This is, and again, I know I'm babbling on here, right? There's just a lot to talk about at once. Skull Babylon. How do you think I got my name? I reverse engineered it. My name was already there, and I honestly, my name was Skull Babylon, and it wasn't until like years of doing the radio show that I was like, oh my God, I'm a babbling skull. Oh, like, it's just like, how is it so obvious? I didn't even know. Hidden in plain sight. Yeah, it's funny though, right? Our names mean a lot. Even our like YouTube and game names mean a lot. But what I was gonna say is, these Light Guardian crystal pendants are going to be a big part of the game in the future. And another thing that I will just mention is, sorry, just getting the feedback on that. I think it's good. Another thing I was just going to mention is that I'm actually planning on doing a new intro video for the website. And I'm actually inviting people who feel called to help out with this, but I'm looking for very particular skills. I'm going to make a new intro video for the website. Right now, the one is the Awakening Within 5 minutes, the Awakening Within the Matrix in 5 minutes. It's me on stage. I'm going to take a lot of that core information about like fractal nature of reality and holographic nature of reality, and we exist beyond the linear moment and how intentions create, because that's really what that video is about, as well as the aspects of what the project is. And I'm going to make like a short 5-minute video that's actually going to be like an animated, almost graphic novel. And it's going to tell a story, and it's going to focus on telling a story. And it's going to be the story of the universe, as well as consciousness, as well as the Light Guardians. And it's going to kind of be this thing where like within the story, like these Light Guardian crystal pendants, in the same way you can think of it as like the cutscene for an opening game, for the game, you know, like the opening cutscene for a video game, where the Light Guardian crystal pendants will be symbolic for the representation of the many like fractal aspects of light coming together. So you'll kind of like see the Light Guardian crystal pendant begin to show up within the mythos of the game, sort of thing, of the story and stuff. So yeah, so stay tuned, because that's something where like literally like I'm going to start writing it, and I'm going to start like drawing some of the stuff myself. Jeremy and Gabe might be able to help with music. Zylock might be able to help out with animations. I was talking to Zylock about it. Zylock's working on some behind the scenes stuff. Me and him have been keeping busy. He's got some crazy things going on.
Stuff looks dope, man. Stuff looks crazy.
Looking forward to seeing more of it. Yeah, those would be some of like the meditation portals and the graphics and the bumpers and really, really cool stuff. But yeah, so anyways, just the Light Guardian crystal pendants, those are handmade, related to the project, and people want those. You can either send me a message, or they're available as a pay what you wish between 30 and 60. And again, they just help support the project. So just another one of the cool quest items. That's another part of how we play the game. So like there's quest items within this community, and the Light Guardian crystal pendants are one of them. And holding these while meditating is a thing, because it creates like a circuit. And these are like ancient futuristic technology, like straight out of Atlantis, straight out of the future. So yeah, if you have any questions about those, feel free to ask. Or if you're listening to the audio list and don't know what they're talking about, go to the website and just scroll down, and you'll see the Light Guardian crystal pendants, and you can link there, and that links you to my profile. It's all straightforward. So yeah, again, just, I know I said a lot there. Going back to just like the free hugs and the shift buttons and the superhero things, I just want to be able to pass the microphone over to you guys. Either just like share any of your thoughts. Again, I love to hear inspiration echoed back that you guys have, you know, what are you feeling, you know, kind of thing, because I want to be able to check in as a team. And it's always great to just be able to like see you guys get excited as well. If anybody wants to jump in, feel free, even if it's like someone brand new. Yeah, Evan, we'll pass it over to you, and welcome, and good to see you, man.
Thinking when you were saying all that, like, you know, the whole Pokemon Go craze, and I haven't played it, but I know everything about it, you know. What if you made like I know it'd be really hard to do because it's a ton of coding and stuff, but made a sort of paradigm shift Pokemon Go thing where like we could walk around and oh, there's a paradigm shifter over here, and have like, you know how all around the world like people talk about certain places where you can get more downloads and things like Sedona, Arizona, or all these different places. You could have it be like a place that you go to, and when you go to, it's like, oh, you've accomplished going to this place, or you know. I don't know. That just popped in my head. I thought it was
yes, man, and yes, like, and the fact that popped in your head is because it's there, like it's already in the collective, and I know, like, I mentioned it briefly, I think before you joined the Hangout, I mentioned like, oh yeah, and there's going to be a whole app thing, and I didn't get into details, but what you just explained is pretty much what it is, and again, like when I was thinking up like back when Pokemon Go came out, and it seemed like this very obvious idea, and that's what I mean. The fact that you're tapping into it, and the fact that other people are thinking up about it, be like, yeah, like, okay, if Paradigm Shift Central had an app, what would it be like? Be like, yeah, it'd probably be like Pokemon Go with like real world locations that you can go to, and like actual things that you can collect, and augmented reality and things like that. And so like just expanding on this, because I brainstormed and I thought about this, another cool feature of the app, and believe me, this is where like the Patreon comes in and makes it possible, and the app, I want to make it, it will happen in the future. It's just going to take time. And right now the website is kind of like the prelude to the app. It's kind of like, it still functions in a big way, similar to the app, like with the team map and the media feed, but just a really cool feature with the app. And again, Evan, I'm glad you mentioned this. Just an example would be like having locations where there would be like scheduled times to do shift missions, to do free hugs. So it would almost become this self-automated meeting system. So like within your Pokemon app, within your Paradigm Shift app, you would say like, oh, okay, the park at 4:30 on Saturday, there's going to be a free hugs event. Cool. I'm going to click that. I'm going to go. And I know that other people are seeing this. Therefore, if there's at least like 5 other people in my area playing this, then we'll be there at the same time. And so like, it almost becomes like a paradigm shift community that becomes like, it happens almost like digitally. It like no one has to like arrange the meetings. Like the app like actually arranges the meetings in a way, and then it would be like a free hug event, and then after that, people can just like continue to hang out or whatever. Another idea would be actually like having locations where there would be like portals. And so similar with like Pokemon, how it would be like a little like creature that pops up. Instead, it would be like an energy portal that would involve some sort of mini game. And then the mini game like actually involves like access to more esoteric knowledge and information. This is like stuff we're still fleshing out and everything. And another really cool idea that I wanted to do with the idea of understanding how augmented reality works is to actually incorporate the buttons. So say if we programmed it, so say, for example, this button has like some sacred geometry into it. What if we scan that in so that the app would recognize that if you were holding this in front of the phone and you were looking at it, that would be code for like an object to appear floating above it. And then that would actually be like a 360-degree sacred geometry object. And it would just be like really cool, and you could like study it with your phone and stuff like that. So again, starting to tap into all the stuff, and then within the app there could be like a whole like message system and like friends network and everything. But Evan, if there's anything else you want to say, but I mean, I think the fact that it's in the collective is it's definitely something that consciousness wants. It's just and more the game and the play brought into it. Go ahead,
everything I wanted to say, but you could also add like days and stuff, like, you know, there's like those global meditation things on 11/11, things like that. Just add a bunch of different things like that, put them all together. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Totally, man. Totally. And you know what? I don't feel like I fully had gotten to that, but yes, like having like global broadcast built into the app would totally make sense as well, including meditations and stuff like that. Absolutely, man. Yeah. So again, it's just really cool to think about the ways that we can start using technology to really help accelerate the shift. And again, like that's this project since the beginning of what I was making it, it's just like, okay, like I can either like sit and watch the shift happen, or I can get involved with it and my involvement will help accelerate it. And that's it. That's the game, is helping accelerate the shift. And so, I mean, like the creating media, the creating the communities, it's all part of it. So, but again, it starts right here. It starts with the inner work. So it's all parallel. Yes. Actively participate in Ascension. Sweet guys. Okay, let's keep passing the talking stick around. I mean, I'm more than welcome to just kind of brainstorm if you guys got some ideas here. Michael Pratt, we'll pass it over to you. And Michael, we haven't heard from you too much this broadcast, but dude, thank you for always being here, man. You're one of the veterans. So.
Oh, thank you. Well, I just want to say I apologize for whatever crap happened earlier.
It's okay. We didn't hear it. I don't know. Jimmy was having a party.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
Yeah. So, I really appreciate that because I come from a family of like a lot of veterans. So, it's not, paradigm shift veterans, but it's, military service and all that. So, but it kind of like some of the new ideas. Is that what you were asking?
I mean, if you had like any thoughts on what we were talking about with the conversation, or just like any sort of, I mean, at the same.
Well, you were.
Go ahead.
You were talking about videos earlier.
Yeah. Going back to that, yeah.
Would that be part of it?
I mean, yeah, we can kind of loop around here because we haven't done like a introduction for you as well.
Well, there's. Oh well, yeah. Well, see, there's some of the really interesting things I've seen, and I've done this at school. Was playing around. I mean, I have like an iPhone SE, so it has like all the features of the iPhone 6, I think, but it's smaller, so it's cool. A lot lighter and easier to carry. There's an option. You get really good quality in the videos. Can you hear me okay? There's really good qualities in the videos. Very high definition, I'd say. But one of the things I've found is really interesting is the slow motion, the ability to capture things in slow motion. So some of the things that I've done and that I've used is like at school and my college, I see like a whole bunch of butterflies flapping around. And it's funny because somebody could be having a crappy day. Like you see like people going through all sorts of things, and these butterflies are just flapping like they have no cares to give. And but it's interesting because you see people going through all sorts of stuff. I mean, some people are joyful, some people are going through the motions, but these butterflies are just flapping. And so I'd take videos of like these butterflies flapping in slow motion. And it's really interesting when you capture something in slow motion, because you see an aspect or a part of it that you may have not always recognized or noticed before. And especially something with the butterfly. I mean, that's a symbol. Most people don't, attribute butterflies with sadness. Most people, you'd say you got butterflies in your stomach or something like that. It's a very positive, joyful symbol, I think, in the collective. And insect, or I think it's an insect, right? Butterflies.
Sure.
Or would you say it's a bug?
Are bug and insect two different things? It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's a lot more than that, but also what it represents is, I think it's a very powerful symbol as far as alchemy. The caterpillar thinks the world's going to end, and then it turns into a butterfly. It struggles in that cocoon. It's in the darkness, and then it comes out and it sees the light. But one of the really interesting things is what I do is I take videos of these things in slow motion. Just very simple things. Butterfly was an example. There was this bird that I saw. I'm not sure what it was. It had a long neck and a beak, and it moved very slowly as it tried to catch fish with its beak. I'm not even sure what it was called, but or something like that, or birds or something like that. Because I think when you acknowledge something like that, and especially in slow motion, which is like, we don't get slow motion unless we're doing like Wu Chi or Tai Chi or something like that, and you're seeing things in slow motion. So you really appreciate something like that, but you appreciate a part of creation, if you will. And I'm not sure, I mean, you know, there's all kinds of theories, but I'm not sure necessarily why birds look like that, how these things that look beautiful like a butterfly got like that. So it's really whoever made it and however it got there, you're acknowledging something like that, and it's in slow motion. And then I will write a description saying like, well, the butterfly is being all a butterfly can be. And, you know, and trying to like look at things in nature and kind of just like little philosophical truths, almost like something you'd find in Taoism or the Tao Te Ching or something like that. And just write about it or capture it on video. And it's really interesting. It's one of the things that I've been doing.
Cool.
You ever thought about anything like that?
Working with the slow-mo feature, I love that actually. I love that like new iPhones and stuff like that have built-in slow-mo feature, which is actually like really, really powerful. That's something that I have played around with, and I actually have like some footage that I've sort of been collecting and intend to use for some paradigm shift stuff of like natural elements in slow-mo, such as the embers of a fire pit. So like a bonfire. What I did is like I take a bonfire and I like tilt the camera and film like it sideways, and then you have like these embers going across in slow-mo, and then when you take the footage and you hold it sideways, it doesn't look like something we'd normally see, but suddenly you see like these embers moving across, and you can see them like following fractal patterns. You can see them following branches and stuff, and it like reveals this hidden world. But yeah, like I like what you're doing, Michael, and I encourage other people to like to even do that, to start building like a little collection of like footage that they might be able to use for little things later on, because that slow-mo footage could come beautiful backdrop for something that you could put poetry over in the future, or someone else might be used for another video. Some other things I filmed in slow-mo were snow. There was one night it was like snowing and I filmed outside my car window. And again, like when you almost film it to a point where it doesn't look like what it is, it becomes something magical, and suddenly snow looks like this like star space that you're just like flying through, and suddenly that can become like elements for like some sort of graphic for something entirely unrelated or something like that. But yeah, I think it's cool that you're doing that, and again, like even doing that could prompt the like the process of like bringing more observation into your awareness, and even creating content for you to write a quest journal about, you know, and be like, how filming things in slow-mo helped me notice more of my world around me, or something along those lines, because you're saying it helped bring your attention to the butterflies, among other things. But yeah, man,
well,
that's a good idea.
I was just gonna say, you know, it's really interesting. We had a freeze here not that long ago, and this ice just well, it was in a bucket, and so it melted a little bit, but there was still this circular block of ice. So I took it out, and I put it kind of on this on the bird bath, this bird bath we have there, and I just watched it melt, and and that itself, believe it or not, these simple things, you know, we learn in science and probably in middle school, but the thing is that in itself, that change that happens when ice melts and becomes water or turns into mist, that itself is a very magical process, if you will. I think, you know, we probably overlook it a lot and be like, well, that's just everyday shit, you know. Oh, excuse me. You know, but basically it's just like that itself is a very scientific but also magical process. And so I would slow have that video in slow-mo, and you could see all these droplets or whatever that is, you know, encapsulated within the ice. And then I'd zoom in it, and then I'd have it in slow-mo, and then I'd slowly watch it melt. And it was just really cool stuff when you can look at things like that, you know. And
for sure, man.
Once again, that's an element, so.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful, just like how the camera becomes a tool for consciousness to see more of itself. Again, when we can like slow things down, and it gives us access to like these other perspectives, and it's so much more. But yeah, to really begin to look at your camera as like an extension of your own consciousness can become a very powerful thing. And especially like it can get very trippy when you start thinking about what a camera is. And I know there's like a good scene in Waking Life where they talk about this, where you're like capturing like moments of godness, like over and over and over again, in every second, just like God, 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 God. And that's like frame, 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 frame. And it's just like there, and it's so present. And somehow we've gone to the point where it's become so normalized. Yet think about back to the days when like motion pictures became a thing for the first time. One of the things that they were really using them for, in addition to just like, you know, silent films of Charlie Chaplin and stuff, were artistic recreations of the dream space. A lot of the early movies were just that. You know, people had to be like, oh, I had this dream. I want to be able to share it with someone. And then they would put it into a movie. And this movie would be like this elaborate sort of play with sets and characters and stuff, and much similar to how you'd have a stage play, but done in a different way. That was unique to the beauty of film, where it could be created with the intention for distribution and stuff. But yeah, just cameras and everything, they're beautiful, and filming in slow-mo, I think is a beautiful feature to be able to use. But yeah, Michael, I just want to be able to ask you, and we're going to pass it around because we're going to get close to wrapping up in the next 2 hours, maybe. We'll see. But I wanted to ask you if there's any particular quest journals that maybe you feel called to write in the future, or any like themes that you feel called to write about in the future that you could transform into quest journals. Just curious.
Well, I did at least last semester at college. I took a lot of really interesting classes. I took one in religion. I took one on psychology. So I spent a lot of time writing essays, especially for the professor and stuff like that. And it's really a mind-expanding experience on itself. But the thing is interesting is I really found a joy in writing things like that. So yeah, I don't think I've done a quest journal yet, but if I find something interesting, or I really like, you know, like articles or yeah, a journal. Yeah, I really like journaling. So yeah,
cool, man.
I probably could work with something like that. Yeah,
I mean that's the idea. Like there's really there's almost no limit to what it could be. So I think once you kind of sit down like, and show up for it, something will come out. So
I mean, it's like you want it to be good, but it's like I'm thinking of it like it's a school thing you're gonna get graded on.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah.
That's good.
And you know what? Like again, it's kind of it's interesting because we've kind of been institutionalized to think of like the only time we create something is so that it can be graded or something like that, where this is moving away from the idea of creating for the sake of creation and creating for the intention of being able to share and inspire, which again brings more fun into it. So in the same way people might like go home and play video games, other people might, as they develop the habit, start finding the fulfillment in writing and sharing their art. And that's my intention for what this project helps more of us do, that again will ripple out into like more ways than we can even fully begin to see.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see. I almost took a class on painting this year. I really wanted to, but I'm really happy to see like what people do with art or painting, and it's very interesting because I think in the 60s and even maybe before that, many people, I'm not saying they all did, but some people took mind-altering substances and to create some of their work. And I thought, well, if there's a point to do that, I think, you know, art was really, I think art is kind of well, it's part of expressionism, you know, and so a painting can really show so many different modes of expression, you know, or a drawing, or I'd be really excited to see some of that and paradigm shift.
Totally, man. Awesome. Okay, Michael, we're gonna pass it over to Gabe only because Gabe has to head out in a second. But Michael, again, thank you for being here, man. And yes, like for you and for anybody else, if you have like ideas for quest journals that you're thinking about, feel free to run them past me first. Like it's not my place to say like, you know, like just if you want to share the idea and I can be like, oh yeah, that's cool, or maybe I'll have a suggestion or whatever. But again, with the quest journals, the way how the website works, the quest journals, those get posted right away. The conscious articles, those are for review. So when you're posting to the quest journals, know that those get posted right as you publish them, kind of thing. And that can get it out there to the audience. But again, put intention into it. Don't just write something that's like a Facebook post that's like 2 sentences long. Take your time with it and really value like what it is that you're sharing, and value other people's time who are taking time to show up to read your work too, right? So but again, it's all just practice. It's all fun. Gabe, I'm going to pass it over to you. I know you got to head off to the astral soon. You got some important adventures to attend to.
Phasing.
Phasing as we speak.
Yes,
Go ahead, man. Any last words? Thanks again.
I just want to say thank you for everyone that is here in this present moment. I love all of you so much. It was great to hang out and to have you guys share your ideas. And I am going to continue to be on these broadcasts with you all. And remember, you are dreaming. This is forever an infinite dream. It is a illusion matrix that is responding to your vibratory output every moment of every day. So create a beautiful dream. And when you're going about creating your media, because this has been such a talk, if you feel inspired to do that, create it not out of obligation, not out of the need to do it, but create it out of just the desire to spark inspiration in other people and to have fun with it, because that's really what it's about. It's about fun. It's about doing it because it's your joy, because it's your love, and ultimately that will benefit the greater collective. So as Brendan said earlier, the shift starts within, and from within it ripples out infinitely, forever and ever and ever. Always.
Awesome,
all right,
man.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, and
Yeah,
thank you for your support, man. We'll talk to you later.
Oh, and just sorry, as another thing,
Yeah.
I'm having a live broadcast tomorrow on
Plug it.
Facebook. Yeah, I'm gonna plug it. So I've been doing these live streams through Facebook Live, and if you add me on Facebook, you can tune into that. It's a special broadcast. I'm gonna be talking about everything that you need to know, about first contact and about the hybrid children. So it's going to be a good one. I was tuning into the energy, and and it's going to be powerful. It's going to be a fun little journey. So please join me if you feel called to do that. I love you all. Good night.
Dude, thank you again. And for people looking, look up Gabe Solomon, GabeSalomon on Facebook. You'll find him there, but I'll post a link up through the Facebook on Paradigm Shift Central as well. And yeah, stay tuned for it, because you might be able to see the recording in the newest videos on the main website as well in post-production. But Gabe, thank you again, man. And shout out, much love to the whole household, to Zylock, to Dane. And thank you guys. You guys are Patreon supporters too, man. Sending you the booster kit soon. Much love. Dude.
Yeah, there's more to talk about. I'll message you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Cool.
All right.
Peace out.
Talk to you later, man. Peace out. Sweet. Yeah, Gabe and I, we were just talking a little bit on the side, and I haven't even known him for too long. I got connected to him after we did an interview with Bridget Nielsen, who is really into the starseed stuff as well. And it's been really great to see Gabe evolving the media, because when I first connected to him, he was kind of just starting making videos. And he's really been getting a lot of great feedback. But yeah, I'm going to connect with him, and me and him are going to talk on the Slack chat. So even if you want to be a part of the conversation, conversation that Gabe and I are going to be having, we'll be doing it on the team Slack chat. So again, if you haven't joined the team Slack chat, either anywhere on the website, if you just look on the side panels, you'll see links to the Slack chat, or go up to the top menu and you can click on the join the team Slack chat there as well. Thank you guys so much again for being a part of this broadcast. We are going to get close to wrapping it up. I just want to be able to take a moment here to pass the talking stick around to go and to let other people share any other things that they want to share, last words, final thoughts, things, etc. And that includes Felicia. And yeah, with that said, we will be wrapping it up very soon. So we'll do that there. Okay, so Felicia, maybe we'll pass it over to you, and then from there, if anybody else wants to jump in, even if it's just to share your appreciation for the broadcast, it can be short and sweet. Felicia, go ahead, passing the talking stick back to you, and you're good to go.
Cool beans. I get a little just excited about everything. I try to keep it down a little bit when I'm unmuted, but so two main closing things. One, just now, what was it? Oh, when you were talking about quest journals, I got an idea. The thing I mentioned earlier, that like idea the story turned into a movie about that nonverbal creature, and how like I do eventually, it's going to be a feature length movie and all that. Why create a shortened version, at least shortened enough where it would work for creating it for a quest journal? Because it would be something that would actually, like, even if it was a total sci-fi thing, the subjects and what it touches on apply. And I thought that would be both a great thing for like the idea itself, what it means to me, and the ways what it means to me tie into our greater goals in the whole paradigm shift. And then another big thing was when you were mentioning before about, like, I don't know if this is something, first of all, that would meet that like is a being far away from you, but you were talking about like either like needing help for certain things or wanting people to potentially like work on different things. And I wanted to say that I have a lot of different ideas and would love sometime about trying to help the best that I could from far away without necessarily being able to go to Canada or to any of you guys, the rest of y'all and stuff. I think those are mainly the two like closing things, anything I really need to get off my chest. But yeah, I got that idea. Like, that's why when I like freaked out in the middle of you talking about question journals, I was like, and I couldn't find my notebook, and I'm like shaking in my notebook, and it was funny. But yeah, I definitely am interested in and from without being physically there yet. Oh, also real quick, a cool thing with the free hugs, and you never know where it'll start little. I ran into this like random guy that worked at a local Whole Foods back home, and I forgot what we were talking about, and he randomly asked me if he could give me a hug. Not that if I wanted one. He's like, oh, can I give you a hug? And I'm just like, oh, funny you say that, man, because I sure need a hug right now. And we just started talking about free hugs and paradigm shift and how I want to start a group in the area and then where I'm moving in Vermont. And he's like, oh, let me know, I'll help you out. And we got connected on Facebook. Like, I didn't expect when I walked in the Whole Foods for a snack to meet this guy, get a hug from him, talk about and what we're doing and all this other stuff and the free hugs things and have it go on from there. But that can happen there too. And that was really cool. And I'm definitely going to be starting something when I don't know when I'll officially name it. Who knows when I'll get around to that, but I'm putting it out there that I'm going to start a group up here towards Montpelier, the capital up in Vermont, and start a group up there, which like I'd started anywhere regardless of where I am. But I'm really glad that a lot of not that everyone has the same opinions as me up here, but it's a place that just fosters, although it's not all positive and there is negative things, it fosters I'm dropping the phone. it fosters the positive change even more. And where like I feel, especially the other day, there was an event at the state building for like Homeless Awareness Day. And between just my feelings, everything everyone talked about, know that it's like there's a magnetism of change about the place, and not just like in terms of how like geopathic stress can affect things, and it's like coming more from the area, but this is not stress. This is like the opposite. And I just know, especially in that moment when they were doing a bunch of speeches, like concluding everything outside, during the rally, that I just knew like, I've made changes other places, but this is going to be a really good place for me. And this is really where I need to be to make all these changes and to help people and do these things. And like our lieutenant governor told us, we can walk right in the office. If we have ideas, if we have problems, concerns, you know, come on in and talk about it. Like, you don't get that in politics these days. Like, I get that right in the state house. Like, that was my first impression. Like, I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling about this. There's, you know, it's not like, oh, it's going to be all sugar-coated flowers and candy, but that's not how life works. There's got to be a balance. So, I think I'm kind of coming to my conclusion there with that, but I'm just all being full of inspiration. I could go on for days. I definitely cracked out way more than just the play on words about the whole Babble thing. Because before you said it, I'm like, Babylon. I'm like, haha, I Babylon. And you're like, yeah, me too. I'm like, oh. I'm, as my parents say, I'm Mr. and Mrs. Loud's little girl and the princess daughter of Sir Talks-A-Lot.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you have a lot to say. So you can turn that into media.
Mm-hmm. Now, people haven't always liked it, and trust me, I've gotten a lot of shit for it. But ways to give less of a crap about what people think when it doesn't matter, and you know, when it does, and to give a little grace to myself and slack to myself when I really can't filter it. And I'm like, I don't know, there's just too much. I can't do the verbal. I'm just thinking too much, you know. Happens.
There's kind of another thing, and I'm just saying this for everyone. Yeah, like as much as we're like prone to talking, there's also like another reminder there. And this is something that like my grandfather passed on to me, and I've mentioned it in past broadcasts, but I'll just mention it again and shout out to him. He taught me a lot. But it's this basic idea of you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So listen twice as much as you talk. And so, I mean, I think that's like a very simple thing.
I've heard that before. I love it. Yeah, I love it so much.
So, I mean, sometimes it's just like, it's good to notice when we're talking a lot, because that may be a prompt for us to practice talking less and to notice.
I've been getting really like good at that sometimes.
That's
and
true,
either
though.
like kind of mixing through, trying to balance when I kind of when like me and another person need to talk over each other, or when like I am talking too much and whereas like say before in the past, I didn't realize, hey, you know, you got to calm down. Like someone else might've had to say it, or I just went on and no one said anything. And there's times where I'm like, you know, it's time to listen, and it feels better to listen, and where I really pull through and not just try to shut up and hear what they're saying, to shut down the voice and really tune in to what they're saying instead of hearing, and like to do little listening practices during everyday conversations with people, being like, oh, what I have to say, do I really have to say it right now? Okay, if I don't, let me hold on and just listen for a while. And what I found, a good percentage of the time, a lot of the thoughts I think I need to get out, unless it's something I really need to tell because I think I'm going to forget about it, time passes and I realize I didn't need to say it. It was just my inner like, that's always there, that made me feel like I had to get it out or I was going to explode. But, you know, it turns out I really didn't need to. Granted, I'm saying this all as I'm, you know, babbling, but kind of got to say it to say it. I don't know. Yeah. I'm like looping myself around sideways now.
It's all good. It's all good. No, I appreciate it. And again, it's all just practice. Because like honestly, like talking and using words can be such a complicated thing, and it really does. Like, even for me, there's when it came to doing presentations and talks, I went to a thing called Toastmasters. Probably people have heard about it. They like, practice.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a very simple group that's kind of all across Canada and the United States and probably other parts of the world as well. And basically, it's groups where they bring people together to teach them to become better public speakers. So they practice having talks, giving talks, listening, talking about how to talk, as fun as that is. And one of the things that you learned while doing Toastmasters was just the effectiveness of even being able to reduce your ums and your ahs, and learning the benefits of being able to pause instead of just like keep going, or instead of throwing in an and stuff. So for me, it's something where I know that my speech habit can sort of fluctuate, and depending on my own kind of presence within the moment can kind of reflect that. Sometimes I'll get really excited about things and I'll just say likes and ums, and there'll be like every like fifth word or something. And I go back and listen to myself and I'm just like, wow, like I like I could see someone being very annoyed at this. So it's just kind of interesting to notice that even through this project, just encouraging people to be aware of taking a moment to breathe and just like talking in different ways, because you can practice talking in a very excited way and you're just blah, 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 and you're going and going. Yeah, at the same time, when you kind of like take a moment to not be in a rush, you can listen. You can listen to like the words as they're coming through you, and you can almost listen to yourself as you're talking, almost from a third person perspective, and it can become this totally different experience. So I mean, sometimes we do that where we're talking but we're not listening to ourselves. Can we do that though? Can we talk and listen to ourselves at the same time? So yeah, just a little thing I want to put out there. But yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Felicia, again, thank you for sharing. I know you were talking about a few things there with your quest journal idea. I think that's something that we can talk a little bit more on the side as well, rather than just getting into the
I
details
just wanted
here.
to like bring it up.
Yeah, just mention it at least too. One step closer to like
the
manifesting
seed.
it. Exactly. Plant those seeds. That's a good movie. We should probably make one about that. But yes, all in all, I think what you're doing is wonderful. I think what you're doing is great. Thank you so much for being a part of this and for.
I gotta write that down. Sorry, I'm delving for. I'm like, no, this is too. I need to actually start writing about this now. I have too many ideas.
Go for it. Yeah, absolutely. Writing things down is like such an important thing. Sometimes I'll do that where
I have a tip in a second, and
I
think you're about to say the same thing.
Oh no, it's just like having a journal and writing like phrases as they come into our head, because our memory is not as reliable as we'd like to think it is. Plain and simple.
An idea journal. What my mom gave to me by accident ended up being one of my #1 like best things I've used, and it was literally a book with like a light bulb on it.
Nice.
That was it. And I added like a NASA sticker because I like to do astronomy and astrophysics and such. And what I do is anytime I have an idea, whether it be for, I don't know, a movie, a concept of time and space, a scientific principle, to recycle plastic bottles, I don't know, I write it down. And if it's a really, like, if it's a, doesn't really matter, I might write it in a regular notebook. But
oh, Felicia, you just covered your microphone or something.
Oh, how about now?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I was holding the phone funny because I have to like walk around with it right now. So I'm like, try not to fall down. Crap, what was I just saying? Shoot.
But yeah, you're talking about like having a note journal.
Literally, completely.
A journal for taking notes.
Oh, yes. That if it's like, I come up with so many things I need to write down. I have like my regular one, like this, like your normal book. And then the other one, my idea book, is like this like hardcover notebook that is slightly different. And then I run and put those in that one. And oh man, I've got all sorts of neat things in there. I have like little highlighters. I go through and highlight the different things. And and it's great though. Like, I love going back like afterwards and looking at all the stuff I come up with, and I could sit there and like look through it for forever and get re-inspired by everything. And then I think about all the things like write down and that yeah, what if I wrote them down? Wow, I could have really expanded upon that, but I just can't
Mhm.
remember it. And that's
Yeah.
what pushes me to really write it down when I can. And I try to always carry a notebook with me. And if I don't, I carry my old cell phone that I use as a music device because it has a better like notepad function for like writing things extensively.
Hmm.
So I'll like pop it up, write it down, and save it. That's what I used to do when I didn't really carry a notebook on me at first. But I also find writing things down in like hands can be more effective, but also sometimes like different forms of writing, like in your notebook versus on your laptop versus on your phone, like depending on how you are, like people can write better differently, and one person, like depending on their mood or like feelings, could write like, oh man, I'm not feeling writing on the notebook right now, but I'm more feeling like the little phone surface, or nah, I need more of a keyboard, and it works for them differently. I know it might sound kind of funny coming out in words, but it's a like thing when writing and such that I myself and a few friends of mine have found is like not an issue, but just a thing with us. So,
Word.
excuse me, they're contagious.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good cue that we should probably be going to sleep
Mhm.
soon, anyways. But yeah, like that's
Time
Oh,
to go
and
to
just-
to join y'all in the astral plane.
absolutely, yeah. There's a party going on. We gotta get there. But yeah, like again, like I think when you're like looking to draw inspiration from the life around you, writing down your dreams, writing down your ideas, all of these things can become fuel and source for beautiful ideas, and that's like really where the picture gets even bigger is when you start like having dreams of artistic creations that you can bring into this reality and so forth. So but yeah, Felicia, thank you so much. We're gonna pass the talking stick around. Is there any last thing you just wanted to mention? Well, you still got the talking stick. Even just shout out to all the other
I don't
people
know.
and tell them to keep
Basically
on
that I
rocking.
love you all greatly, and I'm extremely grateful to have been brought to all of you. And I think I finally figured out who I originally started following you because of. And I'm only saying this now because I've wondered it for so long and I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just saw it on Facebook, but I could have sworn it was because of one of my friends. And then I figured it out, and I realized it was someone that I also like I met her in a really weird spiritual synchronistic moment. She gave me a pair of rose-colored glasses that were really like symbolic to me and at the time, and it was just this like very, very cool thing that happened. And then I realized that it was her of all people, and the ideals she holds, the ideas she has, and it all made even more sense.
Perfect. Awesome.
Much love and
I love
gratefulness
it.
to all of you.
Yes, likewise, right back at you. Yeah, and that's the thing again, like that's a big part of what the media is the fact that synchronicity exists within the digital hyperspace. So never doubt that your video could be a synchronistic waypoint for someone else to either connect to the project or find someone else or find their soulmate through the project. Paradigm shift has been a catalyst for several people like meeting their soulmates and stuff like that. I'm not taking credit for it. I'm just saying it happens. So you never know. But again, it's a bigger story. It's bigger than us. It's song is old as time, tale as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast. So let's keep bouncing around a little bit more. And again, I know there's a few people here who haven't talked much, but I just wanted to show some appreciation for you guys as well. To appreciation to Abby and to Zoe and to Ronald as well. You guys are being very busy in the live chat, so still a part of the conversation. But yeah, just literally, guys, like just not even really getting too much in the conversation because we can always save stuff for last time, but we do have to wrap up this broadcast. So just any words that you just want to share with all the other shifters out there before we conclude this. Abby, Zoe, Ronald, if either of you guys wanted to say anything, feel free to unmute yourself. Zoe, go right ahead. We'll pass it over to you.
Hey, yeah, I just want to like take a bow to you guys. And Brandon, like, or Brendan?
Brendan.
Okay, yeah.
That works.
Yeah, just yeah, thank you so much for sharing all that inspiration. Yeah, it totally brought tears to my eyes at one point too. So yeah, I'm just kind of really glad that I tuned in today, and yeah, I'm also eager to get into Dreamland. So okay, bye.
Well, that's awesome. Zoe, I remember because like when we were in here before, I swear we were talking about media at some point as well. Were we? Or no, that was dreams. You were in a dream class.
Yeah, I was in dream
Yeah, you're in a dream class. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, feel free to write any dream journals in your quest journals, dream logs in your quest journals or whatever. So
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of unclear about what those even are at this point. Would you mind like just
yeah, I
giving a
can
little brief overview?
absolutely. So again, the quest journals are like a blog platform on the main website that people have access to who have logged on, who have created a profile on the website. And again, so like the quest journals, their intention is to basically be a place where we can practice documenting our journey, our spiritual journey, our journal, our quest. And the quest journals can be one of many things. They can be dream logs, they can be synchronicity reports, they can be visions, intentions, reflections. They can also be the art that we're creating, the videos that we're making, whatever it is that you feel called to create, both for your own practice and also with the intention of being able to share it with the community, knowing that it can inspire other people. So for example, if you have like a crazy dream, you can write about it and upload that as a quest journal, both again creating the habit for yourself, but also creating the opportunity for other people to read what you have written and inspire them to do the same. So does that make more sense?
Totally, yeah, that's
Yeah.
sweet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's not super duper complicated, but yes, thank you for asking, because yeah, I'm more than happy to clarify. So
Okay, awesome.
awesome. Well, Zoe, thank you again for joining in, and I'm glad you made it here, and thank you for sharing your tears of joy.
Yeah. Cool. I hope you guys have a really nice time tonight sleeping.
I feel it. I definitely feel it. We've earned it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Okay. Bye.
All right, Zoe. Well, we'll talk to you later if you're jumping out now, and thank you again. Okay. All right, so we'll pass the talking stick around, and so Abby, Evan, Michael, or Ronald, if either of you guys want to say anything before we head out, feel free to do so. And if you do, you can just feel free to unmute yourself. And again, it can just be like appreciation. It can just be like a thank you to the people listening. It can just be a secret of the universe, whatever works. And either way, if not, we'll close with a moment of oneness in a second. Michael, you want to give a farewell message?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've done this before, but I'll give it a go. Okay, so to the Jedi, this could be to the Jedi. This could be guys or girls. Not trying to make this sound like anything heavy or anything, but now is the time for training. You know, I mean, you don't have to go out there with nunchucks or anything, or I mean, some people, you know, maybe into rifle training or whatever it is, but now is the time for the Jedis. You know, get out there, do some Tai Chi, do some Qigong, get out there with a sword. It doesn't have to be a metal sword. I mean, like I said, you don't want to freak anybody out. It could be a wooden sword. You know, just get out there and train. And it's not for you know, it's just for your own space. You know, clearing your space, but at the same time, it's like helping you break through fear, I think also. So I would say, you know, for the Jedis, you know, it's time to step up. This goes for guys and girls. I'm really happy to see the girls out there doing their thing. Probably even more so than the guys, because I think the guys will be all right. But, you know, I really like the girls to go out there, you know, with their swords. Doesn't have to be a metal sword. But you know, just empowerment. I think a really good time for empowering yourself in whichever form that might be, you know. So
Awesome,
that's
man.
it. And may the force be with you.
Dude, totally. There's a whole nother conversation there that we can get into just about the importance of physical exercise within this journey. And thank you just for bringing it in there because again, just mentioning it is a good reminder. And I know Evan's even just talking in the chat. He's just saying that he's been doing like Qigong in the morning and meditation in the morning and stuff like that.
Yes.
And yeah, like I was thinking about this today, how we are beings that exist symbiotically with the earth, and we have to remember how to fuel ourselves by like taking the moments to connect with the earth through stretching and physical exercise and like being outside. So like literally that can mean like standing outside and like breathing deep and really breathing, opposed to just like waking up and like kind of just like staying all close and like sitting in front of a computer all day and everything like that. Like if we're doing that, we're missing out on the substance that we can like get out of our environment. So, I mean, again, you know, like you go through the day, you'll survive, you'll be okay, but you might like sort of just live at this kind of consistency where you're just maybe finding yourself like lower on energy, yet maybe you've lived this way for 15 years, so you don't even notice. Yet as soon as you start, again, just as example, like doing like exercises in the morning, gentle stretches and stuff, as soon as you start doing that, you start drawing in like more of this cosmic energy. It's kind of like, you know, almost like Dragon Ball Z-ish, where you're like, oh, calling on the spirits of the world around me. But like, you're literally doing that. You're like using the sun, like get fueled up on the sun, get fueled up on the earth, get fueled up on the breath. It's all there to fuel you. Yet sometimes it just takes being conscious of the fact that that's happening to be able to make more use of it. So yeah, just keep that in mind, that like, if you're not doing that, then there is more potential for you to tap into, and it can like lead over into your entire experience, including your creativity, including just like your ambition and your drive and your persistency. So yeah, I think that's another simple reminder. We'll have to talk more about that more some other time. Jedi training, and again, that's even stuff for quest journals. I'd love to be able to do that as well, and I want to be able to do that because I plan on going back to like doing ninja training at the gym, doing like flips and tricking and stuff to get ready for Journey to Lucidity 5. And I want to be able to record a little bit of that and make like a little quest journal about like just me sharing my exercises and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you, Michael. Okay, so with that said, Evan, did you want to say anything before we head out, just to the other shifters out there? Go ahead.
Well, since you were just talking about like Qigong and all that, I just I went to a retreat a couple of months ago and was totally down and depressed at that time for reasons I don't need to explain. But yeah, I was just really depressed, and all these things were going on in my life. You know, overthinking like most people in first world countries, just having overthinking thoughts that do not matter. And I went to this retreat, and the majority of it was Qigong and just stillness, meditation. And I had already been into meditation, so I knew that helped. But once I started doing the Qigong and him explaining it and all the facts behind it, that just changed a lot about me. And so yeah, for those of you who are watching live right now and watching in the future, I highly recommend just doing some form of, if you're not already, of Qigong or something like that. And if you don't like it, then don't do it, but you could at least give it like one try, you know. So yeah, just much love to everybody out there, and
Awesome.
we got that.
Awesome, man. Love it, dude. And again, like I'm always going to be able to just like kind of like thinking of things, just kind of like what you said there, just be like, oh, that could be a quest journal. You know, everything I'm just like, oh, there's a quest journal, there's a quest journal. But again, even though it happened in the past, you could just like, if you're inspired to, write a few paragraphs just about like how this process helped you on your journey. Very simple, but something where I'm sure even the process of you writing that could be like a reflective opportunity. Maybe something else will come out. You never know till you try, kind of thing. But yeah, again, just another suggestion as an example, talking about like our own transformation, this is a simple quest journal suggestion. If people are thinking about what to write for the first one, you can even write about your awakening story or something like that. Some people do that, you know, they'll talk about like how they got along on their spiritual journey and stuff. But yeah, talk about your challenges, talk about your healing, talk about your growth. Those are all very powerful topics for our stories, and especially again, like when people who may be going through similar things read them and they're just like, whoa, this person got through it, I can get through this too. Especially, you know, like when we're dealing with the social pressures and just like the anxieties of society and things like that. It's really powerful. It's really important to remember how powerful our stories are, how our stories of our being able to transform through the challenges can be a beacon for somebody else who may be going through similar challenges in their own way. So shout out to everyone who is like, as you grow, we grow. And it's a beautiful thing in that sense. So Evan, thank you. So yeah, I think we're about ready to wrap it up, unless Ronald or Abby, if you guys wanted to say anything on the mic, feel free. Otherwise, I know you guys are live and active on the chat. If you want to type anything in the chat, feel free to type it there. And I'll just keep an eye open if anybody wanted to open the mics. If not, that's totally cool. So with that said, guys, thank you again so much for being a part of this broadcast. If you're listening to this in the future, then just reminding you that you can always go back and check out previous broadcasts as well through the main website. And now on the website, you'll see the podcast feed where you can like open up the broadcast like in an easy to use like MP3 window, and if you right click and download, you can save as. And just encouraging you guys to be able to share the broadcast further with other people who you think may be interested, or just on your social media. That helps a lot. And invite other people to be able to tune into the Paradigm Shift Central project in the future. And I mean, the live broadcasts are a big part of it, but there is much more to it, and I'm very excited to be able to see what we're going to keep creating together. Another thing, I just want to give a special shout out to my partner, Kat. It's her birthday today, or technically it was yesterday, considering today is now tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Kat.
Yeah. So yeah, I just really wanted to just like give her a special shout out. She's really powerful and just like means a lot to me, and yeah, just showing some love and sharing that love with everyone and stuff like that. And if you don't know who she is, stay around, because you'll see more of her, and she shows up in some of my videos here and there, and she's actually helped film some of my videos as well. So she's helped make a lot of the production possible with the Paradigm Shift Central project. And again, like I'm excited to be able to help share more of her creative process as well with the team. And yeah, with that said, guys, we're ready to wrap up this broadcast. So thanking everyone so much again for being a part of this. Thanking the Patreon supporters. For those of you who are really digging this project and you would like to get your Shifter booster kits, reminding you you can add your support with a monthly micro donation of just $3 to $5 a month by signing up at patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. And then from there, I will send you the Shifter booster kit. If you want to get any Light Guardian pendants, you can feel free to send me a message there. And that also supports the team project and the evolution of it as well. And in addition to that, go check out the main website, explore it, check out the content, create your own quest journals, ParadigmShiftCentral.com, real world interactive game to help shift consciousness. Share information that you feel you are called to share on there, and also reminding you to connect to Facebook.com/ParadigmShiftCentral to see other videos that come through there. And meow to all the cats out there. Felicia's got her cat, for those of you who are like listening with audio and stuff like that. So next week on Paradigm Shift, psychic animals. That will be a topic actually for the Destiny School in the future. We're going to be talking about animals of Earth. So stay tuned. There's a lot planned for this project, guys. And thank you for your support. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your patience. All good things come in time, and I'm super excited to know that we are exactly where we need to be in order to get to where we are going. So with that said, guys, your shift mission is to continue to shift where you are, to create conscious articles, to help create paradigm shift communities, to go do free hugs, and to keep asking questions, and to keep it shifty. So for all the people joining into this hangout, please feel free to unmute your microphones, and let's say farewell to the beautiful people of the internet. So until next time. Oh, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Moment of oneness. and then we will totally finish it off. So before we do all the noise and everything like that, just inviting you guys to do a moment of oneness where literally, again, just 3 calm, simple breaths, taking in what this experience was for you, integrating it and embodying it, and moving that energy into what happens today, what happens tomorrow, what happens in this ongoing story. So this is a very exciting story, and thank you for being a part of it. So just inviting you guys to close your eyes and connect with this moment of oneness. Go ahead. And so let the breath carry you to the places you will go, to the places you will know. As you open up the doors to all the minds, to all it can show, to show the ways in which we can open our heart, to show the ways in which we express our art, to show the ways in which we can change the world, to show the ways in which we are already whole. So as we open up to more that we are, we allow ourselves to reconnect with the stars. And the journey is this moment here and now, as we remember the bliss in this infinite wow. So keep it shifty in all that you are and all that you do. And I love you through and through. Aho, namaste, much love. There we go, guys.
That was very sophisticated there.
Very sophisticated, yeah. I actually want to do like a video and a question journal about what I do with my meditations when I exercise on my when I meditate on my exercise ball. And I do like hand signal gestures and stuff in front of the mirror, and it's like straight out of the OA, I swear. But I was doing it before the OA became a thing. If you don't know what the OA is a show, and you can go check it out. It's on Netflix. It's got some shifty stuff in it. Shifty stuff everywhere these days. So there we go, guys. Again, thank you so much for being a part of this. Go create your profile if you haven't yet. Ask me any questions if you need to. You can find me at facebook.com/skullbabylon and subscribe at youtube.com/skullbabylon, Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes and Paradigm Shift Radio on Blog Talk. And yeah, stay tuned. There's much, much more to go. And from one week to the next, the story continues to unfold. So everyone who's here with me, please feel free to unmute your microphones. Let's make some noise and say goodnight to all the shifty people out there. Let's give them some wolf howls. Happy full moon.
Oh, it's such a beautiful sound.
Yelp louder if there weren't more sleeping people in the house.
There you go, guys. All right, guys. Thank you once again. And to all the shifters out there, much love. You're changing the world one little action at a time. The little things make the big difference. So until next time, guys, keep it shifty. Guys, join me again. Say goodnight. Love you guys. We love you. We love you.
We shall never surrender.
Awesome, guys. Much love. Keep it shifty. We'll see you in the future. Peace.